Hey, what's happening, everybody? We are back on another Thursday night here on the Beer Flow Show. And look who's back with us. We've actually got the one and only Shannon in the house. You guys are asking about her last week, and this week she is actually back. And of course, when there's Shannon, there's Todd. So usually there's Todd and Shannon, but together they come in. Although they were going to start out with split cams tonight, it was kind of interesting. We couldn't get the work right because of our feedback, but that'd have been funny if you guys had been on same house but we're on different cameras. How are you guys feeling tonight?
Pretty good. How about you?
Doing good.
Doing all right. We're feeling a little bit better. Actually, I'm gonna feel better right now. Pour me a beer. So I'm not put a beer in my glass yet. So I'm actually gonna drink some of this Lagunitas daytime ale.
I was asking her. She said she was going to be on. I was like, well, that's good because then you'll appease all your fans that you have.
Oh, please.
Yeah, you got
like one. I was like, no, you got more than that.
you got some fans out here like to see you on here.
Like to see me make an ass out of myself.
That made Jerry Springer a lot of money.
Yeah, make them feel better about themselves.
Yeah. And then let's see here.
Don't see many IPAs that color.
No, that's kind of like a purplish red there.
This is other half. Holmes. Slice the Pies. Imperial Sour IPA with cherries, blueberry, almonds, cinnamon, vanilla, and milk sugar.
I thought it was like pomegranate or something in there when you put it up there.
From the average Joe.
Just other half solely, not like a collab or anything, just other half.
Well, it says, it could be. If Holmes is the brewery, I guess, it says other half X Holmes. So I guess it might be with a collab. Slice the Pies, I guess, is the name of it. Okay.
It definitely smells like an IPA. I don't smell any of that stuff in there.
It's got kind of these little logos on the side, so that might be. I've never heard of Holmes. It's spelled like Holmes, like Homes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess
HOLMES?
No, HOMES.
Okay. Holmes. Yeah.
Not like John
Holmes. Not like John Holmes, no.
Well, I was going to say Holmes, but not like John Holmes. I was thinking more in the Mexican accent, but now you went to John Holmes. Right.
Yes.
We know where her head is.
Yeah, would you expect anything else?
What other Holmes is there?
Well, like for your homeboy, like Mexicans will say Holmes. Like, hey, what's up, Holmes?
Yeah. Or Larry Holmes.
Or Larry Holmes.
Go John Holmes.
Yeah, not you. You go John Holmes. You go for the
big,
long one.
literally, or go home.
Yep.
Yeah, go for the long shot.
Right.
Not even a couple minutes in and we're talking porn. It's all right. That's a good way to start. Big shout out to the Craft Beer Corner in the house. Evening. He says, good evening, everybody. He said he missed last week because he had to work, so he's glad to be here. Glad to have you, my friend. So that's the right answer. Malton in Montreal, Swami says cheers. Cheers, Swami. Craft Beer Corner, LOL, who's laughing at the home stuff, I believe. And then Blake TV's in the house says Patrick Mahomes. Oh, there's another Mahomes there.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, football player.
Welcome, Blake. Which is an interesting thing because Blake, I actually, for whatever reason, it looked like I wasn't subbed to your channel earlier when I was watching your video, so I subscribed back, and it didn't look like you were subbed to mine because it looked like you subscribed back. So YouTube has this thing sometimes where it drops people off of subscriptions. I've been told other people had to resub back to channels, which I don't know, kind of sucks, but glad you're here, brother. Always glad you're here. And then tomorrow night over on Blake's channel, they're actually having a crazy Friday night. I forgot what it's actually called, but they're doing stuff on Friday night videos where they're going to dress up for Halloween and have a big bash, I think, over there at 10 Eastern. So you guys want to have some fun, make sure you check out Blake's channel. But as I mentioned right now, I am actually drinking the Lagunitas. Oh, wrong camera. I got two cameras going. I'm at the wrong one. I'm so used to this other one. I'm expanding. I'm expanding the operation. Lagunitas daytime ale. So, which is basically my new all-day IPA. You know where I'm going to go at some point in this show. I was trying to wait for Eric to get here if we had that discussion since he's in Michigan. But, yeah, so it's actually pretty good. And I think, did you end up picking up any of these, Todd? I know we talked about it before.
I did. I actually drank one on the show last week.
Is that what I saw downstairs
right.
in the refrigerator?
Mm-hmm. They're pretty good for, they're. I mean, they're supposed to be light because they are light. But they're very light, but they're very crushable too.
Yeah. What's that thing you guys?
Not so IPA-ish for people that may not want a
What
big
I like
IPA. Come on.
I get the IPA flavor out of it though. But,
No, I mean there is, but it's not overpowering like your main,
no, it's definitely
IPAs.
lighter than that. Yeah, I mean you can actually enjoy this, and if you're not a big fan of the bittering, you're not put off by it as much.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's a nice one to actually enjoy.
I think it's very well done.
What's the name of what are you guys doing? The keto thing? So this only has 3 carbs, Shannon. So
that's still a lot.
That's why I picked.
That's a lot if you drink like I do. Like if I just had one, then that would be fine. But
there ain't no stopping at one.
Just don't down a fifth.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I wanted to pick them up. But
how many carbs can you have a day with the keto?
We do 25.
So that's almost an eighth of what you're doing. I mean, if you had one, if you had 2, you're almost at a quarter. I guess you could say just over a quarter. But
what's the point?
But you can technically have up to 50 or less.
Yeah.
So you get some daytime ale and celery sticks, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, we could eat steaks and
next
drink
day
beer.
might be a bitch.
Yeah. We could just eat steak and drink beer.
There you
Steak
go.
Doesn't have carbs.
Daytime ale and ribeyes. You're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it'd actually probably be a good combo.
Yeah.
Taco meat or something.
Oh my God.
These dogs are wearing me the fuck out.
Did you hear what he that's not he doesn't say that word a lot.
Really?
About ready to let
you said it weird. You said it when we were drinking.
Yeah, but not very often.
I already got the door open to let him go run around the neighborhood.
He's been saying that for like 15 years, so.
Because I'll end up having to run around and catch him and bring him back.
Yes, he would.
Let's see. Hey, Drunken One's in the house. Cheers, Drunken One. D1 in the house.
D1?
And Craft Beer Corner said, just subbed to Malton in Montreal. Who else has channels I can follow for beer goodness? You got Drunken One. He does stuff on his channel. He actually brews beer, so he does some home brewing stuff. Malted does some beer, but he does more whiskey than anything. So some good stuff there, which is beer before it's whiskey, I guess you can say. Blake has beers on. Well, Blake does more vodka stuff on his channel, I think, more, but he just has all kinds of stuff happening there. So there'll be some more beer guys that'll come through. Eric, a Lions fan, that'll join us in a bit. He does stuff on his channel for beer. We got Foamy Head in the house as well. So you can check out Foamy. And Foamy's actually down in Texas. Says, I'm having a Sigor Pumpkin Ale from Southern Star Brewing. Cheers.
I was going to crack open the Spooky Tooth, but...
Could say for Halloween episode. Oh, we're going to do for next Thursday, because next Thursday is like actually Halloween. But the kids will be done, I'm sure.
Oh, you should all dress up.
Dress up as your favorite beer.
No.
You go to Blake TV tomorrow night and watch his channel. They'll be all dressed up on that one.
Oh, you all totally need to dress up.
I got nothing to dress up as,
There's all kinds of things to dress up.
Dressed up as? I don't know what I dress
Don't be
up
lame,
as.
Rod. You can figure something out.
What are you dressed up? I'm gonna dress up as a man working. That's what I'm dressed up as. I'm a man with a job. That's my costume.
A J-O-B.
I haven't dressed up for a Halloween party in a long, long time. So
at work, we're gonna dress up as Pac-Man and the Ghost.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it a work party or just at work?
No, at work for the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you and Todd are going anywhere where you're going to dress up together?
Yeah, we're going to my cousin's, but her theme of her party is like casino, Las Vegas. And I'm like, what do we dress up as? We
freaking go as Bobby De Niro and Sharon Stone.
Oh,
Casino.
God. Nobody would know that's who I am.
Just sit there like you're doing some coke lines for a while. Like, who are you?
Yeah, they'll be like, is this one? Is Las Vegas have a Wizard of Oz show? And one of the Munchkins showed up.
Oh,
yeah.
You could go like Cousin Eddie and the wife.
Yeah. Well, we thought about going as
Give me some of the blue stuff.
We thought about going as a trashy like Vegas couple that was getting married.
There you go.
Yeah, but I can't quite figure out the costume.
Yeah, or you can go as Chevy. You can go as Chevy and his wife. They went to Vegas vacation.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And then there was who was it? Nicolas Cage. And
yeah, we could.
Nicolas Cage and Elizabeth Shue leaving Las Vegas. They
Oh
were
yeah,
in
that would be
Vegas.
a good one.
And there was True Romance with Kristen Slater and Roseanne Arquette. And
Yeah.
True Romance, they were in Vegas.
Elizabeth Shue used to be Todd's girl. He used to love her.
That was Todd's one of
Back in
Todd's
the
top
day.
selections back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day. He likes those wholesome looking girls. Like Karate Kid, Elizabeth Shue, and
Was she in Karate
Babysitter's
Kid?
Club, Elizabeth Shue. Yeah.
Mhm.
In the sequel?
She was the original one.
I don't remember anything.
She
really
was his
much before.
girlfriend.
She was his girlfriend, yeah. When they went and played putt-putt and all that.
I just remember Machio and Mr. Miyagi. I just remember them most of the time. Yeah.
Well, that was the true romance of the movie.
Before I forget, I want to ask you something. I saw you were watching Peaky Blinders or Peaky.
I haven't watched this season yet.
But I haven't watched any of it. Is it worth watching?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a
I have
classic.
to check it out.
We'll be watching it now, right? Because you said so. I've said it about 3 years ago.
I don't remember 3 years ago. How the hell am I supposed to remember what you said 3
So
years ago?
I haven't watched that.
Women remember
He is
everything.
in a
that
mood
guys
tonight.
I'm not in the mood. I'm just saying it's true.
Hey, Shannon, is it that time
Yes.
of month? Is it that time of month?
For
maybe?
him. For him. He has more PMS than I do.
You've done it before. Like, you come home from work, I'm like, oh, this lady is telling me to watch it. I was like, oh, really? Because I've been trying to get you to watch it.
Yeah,
for
but
years.
they are experienced. They know what it's about. They've watched it. They have an opinion on actually if it's any good. It's not just like saying, hey, let's just check this out. So they can tell me if it's good or not. We're not just pushing on a hope and a dream.
It's really good. It's I've had so many different things that popped on. I've been watching. I started watching Watchmen this week. Oh my god, just hooked right in from the beginning. That's
I heard that was pretty good too.
freaking excellent so far. I mean, it's only been one episode, but it starts off with a bang and just goes. And watching the Mayans, of course, which has actually picked up good steam. Had a great episode last night too, and they got the Sons of Anarchy guys on there with them. Which if I would have watched Sons of Anarchy, I had more of a reference to that, but I haven't watched Sons of Anarchy. But the one guy that's the lead now, I guess, for Sons of Anarchy, the Scottish guy, I've seen him in a lot of stuff.
Yes, I love him.
Yeah, so he was just on the last episode, so he was really good too. So
I love him.
And then what else? I was watching The Terror, which just ended. That was on AMC, and that was pretty good.
I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, I never did watch that one.
Yeah, it was the second season for that. It was actually set like mostly in a concentration camp, which was pretty interesting.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it was.
Is it like a period show, like back in the war?
It's they're like American Horror Story. Each season, I think, is a different setting.
Oh, okay.
So last year was like they were out in the winter, some people hunting, like, and it was like, if it was a grizzly or a polar bear killing them or something was happening. This year they were in a concentration camp, and it was like a spirit was haunting them.
Tariff.
Yeah.
Terror.
Terror. Oh, I thought you said tariff.
The Terror. Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
And
I think I maybe watched an episode or two last year when it was on.
Yeah, I fell out of the one last year, but this season was really good. George Takei was one who's a solid actor. So even as old as he is, he's still pretty good to watch. And then I was watching Ballers. Ballers is over now, but Ballers was the show. I mean, it ended with a great episode. So
did you watch the finale yet?
I don't think I haven't seen the finale yet. Wait, maybe. How many episodes were there on there? Was it just 8? Was it 10?
Just 8 or 10, one of them, yeah. And I got to go back and watch the other one, the Gemstones. I haven't watched it. People are telling me about the Gemstones.
I started watching the first couple, the Righteous Gemstones.
Yeah, people are telling me that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's got John Goodman and it's HBO, and they're like in charge of this like mega church, like they're pastors or whatever, this mega church, and they're all crooked as hell.
It's got the baseball dude on there.
With
the mullet. It was in Tropic Thunder and stuff.
The curly hair in the other shows.
Baseball dude.
He had the baseball series on HBO.
Oh, yeah, I know you're talking about. It's dark hair.
Kenny Powers.
Funny dude, Kenny Powers. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Dee Dee told me about that, so I watched the first couple episodes, but I haven't.
You said you watched some of that one?
No, I want to because everybody's telling me how good it is.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't watched it yet. So,
well, John Goodman's always good too. So,
God, but see, I only watched like the first episode. But I love John Goodman, but I mean, I'm sure he gets better, but I'm not a fan of his character. Just from the first episode. I'm sure it might change.
I didn't watch the baseball series you're talking about with Kenny Powers and stuff because I didn't. The first couple ones I saw, I didn't care much for his character on there, which I know is part of the show, but I guess I just didn't give it enough time.
Yeah. Well, it was like Seinfeld for me. I didn't watch from the beginning. I started watching from the middle after hearing about it and then going back and catching up. Like, I never watched Seinfeld when it first came out. I always watched it from the rerun.
Did you like Seinfeld?
At first, though, I was like kind of into it. Then I got hooked into it real big. Like, some of the jokes were just so funny on some of the stuff they were doing on
I
there.
just was never like, I mean, I would watch some episodes and I like Kramer and all that, but I just never was like, this is the best show ever, like everybody else. I was just like, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's good for a laugh, but yeah, I never watched it from the beginning
funny.
either.
It had a pretty good run on some of the stuff in there. So, it was just like some of the stuff they would do, I would start to see like kind of in real life in a way. Like, even though it was like when it's comedy, you start relating to people in real life, and you're like, you're about as dumb as that person they talking about on the show,
I might appreciate it more now that I'm older too.
But I never did watch it from the start either. I just picked it up when it was on like TBS and replays.
Todd's all-time favorite is Home Improvement.
Home Improvement used to be a good show.
Yes, it was a good show. Yeah, it was, but I used to work third shift. I'd come home. He'd be going to work, and he always either had Saved by the Bell on or Home Improvement.
Yeah.
Always.
Saved by the Bell. I was a little too old. I was a couple years older than Todd, so I was a little too old for that. Well,
he was watching reruns when he was like 30.
Oh, Todd, come on. It was a high school kids, man.
They were reruns when he was like 30. Yeah.
Growing up watching it. What's the difference?
You know what it was? Ever since he saw, what was that chick?
Kelly Kapowski?
No, Elizabeth.
And Showgirls?
Yeah, and he was like,
yeah.
Wait, let me go back and check her out.
Kelly Kapowski was hotter in her normal clothes than Elizabeth Banks was.
I have no idea who Kelly Kapowski even is.
Don't you think? Kelly Kapowski was way hotter than Jesse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She was probably the third one on that show.
Oh, for sure. I agree, too.
Whatever the black girl's name is.
I know her real name, something Van Lark. But I can't remember her name on the show.
Yeah, I forget what her name on the show was.
Oh, yeah. She was really pretty. Yeah. Poor old Jesse Spano didn't have a chance sitting next to those two. Yeah.
Let's see here.
What the hell was her name on there?
I'm going to find out.
I can't believe I don't know this. I'm disappointed. See, I ain't the fan you think I was.
You get on mute when you're watching. The Craft Beer Corner. So they got a second shift, liquid spiritual delight, vanilla coffee, imperial stout. That does sound good. Sounds good, but I'm underwhelmed. It does sound good, though. Yeah. Don't you hate when it like kind of builds your expectation up a little bit and it doesn't deliver?
Lisa Turtle.
Say again, Rod.
I said it always sucks when it builds your expectation up and then it just doesn't deliver at that certain level. Like, it's supposed to have something in it, but you don't get it.
I always get that with the peanut butter ones.
Might get me more drink.
Like very few I've ever had where I was like, oh, this is great. Like I got that one from Listerman.
Yeah.
I was underwhelmed. I was like, people love it. Thinking like it gets like almost a 4.5 on Untapped, and I think I gave like a 3.25. I was like, "This is really artificial." I don't know. Maybe I got another one, so I'm going to try it again.
Apparently, y'all don't know peanut butter around here.
Everybody's going, "Well, it tasted like a." What'd they say it was? I was thinking more like Reese's Cup, but they were saying something else, and I was like, "Okay, well, I can see that maybe. I can see that." But I can't remember what the candy bar was though.
There was a peanut butter candy bar, not Reese's?
Yeah, it wasn't a Reese's. It was something else. I can't remember what they were.
Peanut bar. What other candy bar really would be known for the peanut butter? I mean,
right? Like a Heath or something. Wasn't something along?
Because Milky Way has no peanut butter in it.
Right. Well, I mean,
Snickers doesn't.
It was a peanut butter chocolate candy, but it wasn't the Reese's Cup.
Yeah,
we're trying to
maybe
say.
Henry.
Like,
maybe a Henry or something. That might have nougat in that one.
I'll have to go back through the Untapped and look at what some of the people were saying.
But Craft Beer Corner says, "Oh yeah, hell yeah, the ribeye." So he's a ribeye fan as well. Head coach is in the house. Welcome, coach. What's going on? He said, "Hello, gentlemen, a nice lady." And Cody's in the house. Welcome, Cody. Cody's up in Michigan. He might have some take on the conversation here in a little bit.
What's up, Cody?
Says, having the Shorts Autumn IPA. Imagine making a salad with leaves that fell off the trees in the fall. And, well, you're pretty close. Not in a bad way, though. I kind of like how you put that together, Cody.
Yeah, nice little
I should have used my Morgan Freeman. My Morgan Freeman voice.
Yeah.
Should have switched it up or use my Shaquille O'Neal speech. Having having a short automata. Imagine making a salad with leaves that fell off the trees in the fall. And what can you dig it? Cody said, tried watching last time, but I was busy with making wedding plans. Now all that's left is tying up loose ends. About 15 days left. Cheers to you, Cody. You're getting close, my friend. You're getting close. Cody will be tying a knot here in a couple weeks, pretty much. Craft Beer Corner said, I drink to that, Cody. And cheers, Rod J and gang. Hey, Jeremy, what's happening, brother? Nice having you around. Cheers. And Blake says, cheers back to him. And he said, cheers back to Blake. And the Vanessa Kitty's in the house. Hello, Vanessa. Always great to see you.
Vanessa.
And what are you forging in the forest tonight? Which that's a show I've kind of got hooked into. That one show, Forged in Fire.
Like, I heard that was pretty good.
It actually, I don't know why I watched it, because I'm not like I'm ever going to forge anything, but it's pretty interesting in watching them make the swords and stuff, or the knives, or whatever it may be.
Maybe you were talking about that.
Yeah. And then the guys, I got to judge them. They get to use them against like plastic stuff or metal stuff, whatever they're going to cut it up with. I think they enjoy doing that in there. So, Rounded Rob in the house. Cheers, Rod. Says, what's up, Rod? Cheers, buddy. And Blake and Jeremy's making the rounds. Blake says, cheers, Rob. Thrash is in the house. Says, cheers, all happy Friday, pre-Friday. Cheers, Thrash. You know, we were Craft Beer Corner. We were talking about beer channels to actually watch. You might want to go ahead and check out Thrash's channel as well, as Thrash does a lot of homebrew and stuff on his channel. So a great channel to pick up there too. And also Cody does some beer stuff on his channel as well. Rounded Rods, the last 2 weeks been a mess. Just too much going on. I know that feeling. Last week we were ready to drink by the time the show started for real. Cody said the Craft Beer Corner, it's not bad. One thing that made me interested is in the fact it's all Michigan ingredients. And of course, the lack of description of the flavors left me curious. So, and then
once you're coming back for more.
Yeah. Rob said, Thrash, what's up? And back and forth. And then back to Cody and Blake. And Cody says, as the beer warms a bit, you get more of the malts, and it's honestly a good beer. So it's starting to settle in on Cody. Cody's starting to enjoy it.
Sometimes you just gotta let it breathe and come down a little bit.
Give it a little bit of time. That's what she said.
That didn't make any sense.
It didn't really.
But it was already too late. It was already out there. So
that should have been. That's what he said, but it was already out. It was already out. We're not used to saying that's what he said, so
right, yeah, just rolls off the tongue, rolls the other way.
And then that's like Ron Bergen. You just read the teleprompter, Ron. Just read the teleprompter. Thrash Metal says, cheers to Vanessa, Blake, and Jeremy as well. Cody says, my girlfriend doesn't understand how I like Seinfeld. Cody, you can't use the G word. You got to be the F word now. That's your fiance. You got 2 weeks.
No, I don't like the word fiance.
You don't like the fiance? So when you were engaged, you didn't like Todd calling you fiance or saying?
Oh, God, no. If he would have called me fiance.
So what did he say when he introduced you?
My girlfriend.
But you had a ring on. You were a fiance by then.
Well, he would have called me that for 3 years.
That's what I still call her anyway. So
yeah,
your girlfriend. What?
Yeah.
What do you call me? Your girlfriend?
Yeah.
You fucking with me?
Oh, are you mad if I did?
I don't know. I might like it if you call me your girlfriend. Sounds way better than a wife.
Hey, no role playing right now, all right? No role playing right now. Don't say that shit for later. I know we pushed the line at times, but Cody says my girlfriend doesn't understand how I like Seinfeld. So that's what he said there before. But it's like I was going to say, my wife, she was never big into Seinfeld when I watched it either. She's like, do you know what I liked? I was like, it was just some funny stuff in it. I mean, the Soup Nazi episode wasn't hilarious.
Yes, that was good.
That was just
good,
the way
yeah.
that was put together was pretty hilarious. Or when like Kramer had the Merv Griffin set in his apartment. It's like, who would actually do that? But he's actually running.
Remember that one.
Everybody would come over and he'd on set like, oh, take commercial break. And he would get like a little snack and everyone just
one of my favorite ones though is when he does the movie phone bit.
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
I saw that one too. The movie, yeah.
Where people are calling his number and he's trying to read off like the movie times. And
No, what's the
he's
guy?
like, just press 1, and they press the number. He's like, I do not understand that.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me what you want to see.
No, the guy that played in King of Queens.
Kevin James.
No, the grandpa. His
Oh,
father.
that's
Stiller?
Jerry Stiller. That's it.
Yes, because he played in Seinfeld too, right?
Mhm.
Right, he was George's dad.
And he had an episode to where he burned his eyebrows off, and so he drew them on.
No, that was Jerry's cousin. That was Jerry's uncle that did that. The skinnier guy. Yeah.
And he looked like he'd walk into a room and they'd be like, "Whoa, what's wrong?" You know, because he looked like he was pissed off the way he
was
drew his eyebrows. He looked like
something.
angry.
Yeah.
That was my favorite. That one was really good.
That show really is pretty good, though.
Now, there was one episode and it's like Elaine, she wanted to get Chinese food from her place, the best Chinese food, and they couldn't deliver to her because she was too far out. So she had to basically find this closet in an apartment building to make it like she was living in it to get the guy to deliver food. The guy was delivered. He's kind of looking around. She's got the door all closed so he can't see what's going on. And somebody comes over to try to get a mop or whatever out of the room. Yeah, so.
Yeah, there are some classic scenes in those for sure.
But it's like, who's ever had like when it gets somewhere like they don't deliver that far out? Like I got a pizza, we got Jet's Pizza. I can't get Jet's Pizza delivered to me because we're just a little too far out. I'm like, seriously, it's just up the hill. No, we cut off at the bottom of the hill. Seriously?
Yeah.
I'll give you $5 extra. Just come on.
Well, meet me at the corner.
I would literally work a mile away from my house. It's like exactly a mile, and I'll get like DoorDash or Uber or something like that. There's like 60 restaurants that will deliver there. There's like 10 that'll deliver here a mile away.
Yeah. It's like, I'll pay the extra gas. Just bring me less shit. Drunken one said, cheers back to Thrash and Jeremy. And Thrash back to Drunken one. And Drunken one. A lot of nice, cordial people. Just saying hello to everybody. Yeah. We got a polite audience in there tonight.
Lots of back and forth.
The craft beer corner, nice. I swear by the English position of British cellar temp, 55 degrees Fahrenheit. I always pull my beers from the fridge 15 minutes to warm up. Cold is the enemy of the beer flavor. I do agree. We do the same thing for the most part. We usually have ours like 15, 20 out before we actually start drinking them. Or if you know the style, that's the good thing with having in the beer fridge I have down there now. I put that temperature in there so I know what degree is at. I know how long to let it sit out. So as I have different flavors, if I have stouts, I'll get them into like the mid 50 level, or barley wine mid 50 level. If they're in the cooler at 38 or 39, I know let them go about 20, 25 minutes. If I want to get an IPA to around 50 or high 40s, or if I want to get a wheat ale to a certain level, it's kind of nice having that fridge and put a little thermometer or something in there. I actually picked up a little one at Amazon that just tells you what the temperature is. What's
the beer that is supposed to be served the coldest?
That would be the lagers, like adjunct lagers. Actually, a lot of your lagers are so cold, but like the ones like Budweiser and Coors and all of them, they're like, you want them as cold as possible because when they warm up, they're not as good. They're just not.
Yeah. The true color.
I just like anything I drink really cold, so.
Yeah, so it's like I go to places, you got to tell them, do not put in the frosted glass, because they used to put frosted glass out for those type of lagers where they went ice cold because you get to drink them, and people like go through it rather quickly too because you don't want to have them warm up on you. Let me see here. Drunken wants to hold a Rob, and drinking a very fresh PPR. Whoop.
Hey, wasn't that what I was drinking when we went to Floyd County? No, it was. Yeah, it was. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we went to a brewing company, and I'm like, I just want like to have Bud Light. They have PBR. I'm like, all right, I'll just have that. So I'll drink PBR all night.
See, that's like an adjunct lager. You usually drink that.
I know they're junk, but I liked it.
It's funny because now, like, it's got this whole hipster thing tied to it still, I guess. But
yeah.
Like I remember when it was just kind of like your. I was not saying your shit beer, but it was kind of your beer that was kind of looked down upon as a beer, like with that and Bud, and then it like all of a sudden just caught like this little bit of a fire or whatever, and like you go to like Applebee's like that, oh, we got the PBR special $2.99, like people are ordering like crazy, like what the hell is going on in here?
That's because Clint Eastwood in the
Gran Torino,
Torino,
yeah, God, that was such
brought
a
it back
good movie.
to life. That was the same time my brother was just worked one night a week at a liquor store, and He's like, I couldn't keep it in stock. He said, as soon as it come in, it'd sell out. It was at about that same time. He's like,
he did.
It was crazy.
I remember them having pieces or articles about like how you revitalized like PBR after that movie, like because he was drinking it.
And I don't even remember him drinking it in that movie.
You know?
He was on his front porch. Like, he was like, get off my. He told kids get off his lawn. He was on his porch drinking beer.
Yes, I loved Gran Torino. I loved it. It was a great movie, but I don't remember what he was drinking.
What's your favorite Clint Eastwood movie?
That.
Gran Torino?
Yes.
Is it just because you're only thinking about it right now?
Probably because you ain't really seen many other ones.
Well, it seems like there is another one. I can't.
Unforgiven?
Is he in Unfinished Life? He's in Unfinished Life. I love Unfinished Life.
That's a really good movie if you've never
seen it. It's got Jennifer Lopez in it.
I don't know.
Oh, it's good. It's about Jennifer Lopez was married to his son. His son died. She had a kid. They were out they couldn't survive. They had, financial problems. She had nowhere else to go, so she went to him, and he lived like out on this. And Morgan Freeman's in it too. Yeah. And then he lived like out on this ranch, and it's about him and Morgan Freeman's relationship and how, he come to love his grandchild and how he accepted Jennifer Lopez. And it's a very good movie. But those two, top two.
It's like one of those movies that from beginning to end, there's never really like
a peak, and it's just a good, clean story.
Usually most movies it starts that good, and then there's a drop where it bottoms out, and then it comes back. This is
it's just good the whole way through. It's just a story. It's a good story.
It really is good.
Well, what about the bear? That was kind of a peak.
Well,
yeah, the bear part was good.
That was good.
Yeah, but it's a very, very good movie.
Yeah,
I have not seen that one.
An Unfinished Life. You need to check it out.
But he was with Morgan Freeman in Unforgiven, and that was a good movie.
Unforgiven.
You never seen Unforgiven?
Was it a cowboy movie?
Yeah. Clint Eastwood, Morgan Freeman, Gene Hackman.
I don't know. That sounds like I've seen it, but I don't remember it.
That's a good one. I don't know. He's had a lot of good ones.
Yeah, I cannot say that I've ever seen him in a movie that I did not like. He is such a good actor. I love him.
He's a good actor.
I love him. And his son is hot as hell.
I don't know who his son is. But
Scott Eastwood? Yes.
Never heard of him. Is he an actor?
Yes, he's an actor.
What's he on?
I don't remember. He's hot. I wasn't paying attention to the movie.
She don't know if the movie was good or not.
Shannon had that one on me.
Oh, so. He was on this show called The Longest Ride, which you would never watch because it's like a romantic movie.
Well, he's giving the longest ride out though, right?
I hope so. I would hope so. That would be a big letdown if you got him and then it was a short ride.
The movie was in my worst Charles Barkley voice. Terrible.
Did you even watch it?
I don't know.
He didn't even watch it.
I'm going to tell you right now, it's terrible.
No, it was good. It's about this cowboy guy, and he was a rodeo.
Yes, I watched some of it. He was like, here, come watch this. It's so good.
Was he on a still
I'm not buying that shit. What?
Was he a cowboy in a still horse he rides?
No, he was like a rodeo guy. You had to hang on for 8 seconds.
You didn't catch that. Never mind.
Still, cowboy, still horse he rides. No, I don't know that. Sounds familiar. Is that a song?
A little group called Bon Jovi.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about now. I'm a cowboy. Yes, I get it now.
Woo! Still another bust on that one, people. No.
Okay, we catch
I was still thinking about Scott Eastwood, okay?
Yeah, her mind's still floating together.
I'm still thinking about Scott Eastwood.
I'm still thinking. Blake had actually said Tiffany Thiessen. I forgot she was on Saved by the Bell.
Yes, that was Kelly Kapowski.
I don't know that name. I know Tiffany Thiessen.
Yeah.
I didn't know the name. I don't even know how you got the other name.
So look, Mal, what was her character on there? Was Kelly Kapowski.
Oh,
Zach and Kelly.
Okay.
Malwad Brewing Company. They did.
Blake said was Kelly Kapowski. Okay, I didn't know. I mean, yeah.
Malwad did a brewing company. Malwad. They did a Kapowski Red Ale. I think it is. It's named after. It kind of has a little resemblance over on the can.
She'd be like a Kapowski Kapow.
It's Kapowski something.
She was so skinny back then, though. She was really pretty, but she was just. But back then, men liked little skinny girls. Now they like a little bit more. I think they do anyway. Tits and that, like a little bit more curves. Not just a woman that looks like a little boy.
Yeah, I mean, there's some men do like the little boy look, I guess. I mean, that's on them. I mean, Catholic Church is still rolling.
I'm glad because the little boy looking girls need somebody to love them. So,
Rounded Rob says yes. He says PBR, so he's down with the PBR.
I like PBRs.
Cody says, Todd, I want to say it's good. Armory Brewing has an amazing peanut butter porter. I think it's supposed to be like a Nutty Buddy.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Good Armory. They're probably out of Michigan.
I'm gonna have to put my glasses on so I can read these comments.
I'm really trying to remember what the candy bar was that they were saying. Might have been
a fast break?
It might have been a Butterfinger or something. I don't know.
Butterfinger. Does that have peanut butter?
Baby Ruth.
It's peanut. Yeah, Butterfinger's peanut butter.
Butterfinger might have peanut butter.
It doesn't have peanut butter. It's not like creamy peanut butter, but it's a crunchy like.
Wasn't like Nutter Butter to cookie.
No, but to me, it tasted artificial. I was very disappointed, especially being Listerman. I was so excited for it too, and I was like,
So Rob is having a Goose Island IPA for him tonight. I've not had a Goose Island IPA in a long time. It's funny though. Apparently, I was reading a piece earlier. I guess because Goose Island is owned by AB and Bev, and they're getting selective with who they invite. Because this week, if you don't know, they came out. They have a tasting in Chicago right now of this year's Goose Island Bourbon counties. And so they invite people in, actually come in from media stuff to blog and all that kind of stuff. And one of the guys who the last 10 years have been invited didn't get invited this year. He's like, who you pissed off or what may have happened, but he didn't get the invite. But right now they're doing the taste testing for that because that comes out to Black Friday after Thanksgiving. So everybody knows. But he was like, I must have pissed somebody off there.
Hey, you probably all will never get to taste this because they'll probably never have it again. But I think that Golden Lion was better than any of the slushies they've had before. 450 North. I think that's probably the best beer I've tasted they've put out.
I don't know about that.
Well, what's your favorite then? Can you think of a better one?
The blackberry
jam. Blackberry jam.
Really? I tasted that one. No, I like the Golden Lion better.
Bomb. You and Eric are that way. Speaking of the devil, what's up,
buddy? Man?
What up?
Oh, it's Eric.
Blue Eyes himself.
I love Eric.
And how was the dinner with the fam?
Oh God, I'm freaking full. I'll tell you that. But I still got room for some craft beer, buddy.
Ooh,
there you
what'd
go.
you eat?
I had a freaking humongous thing of breadsticks, and then I had a wet burrito.
Had what?
A wet burrito.
What's a wet burrito?
With that sauce on top.
Shannon, come on.
Make it wet, like the.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that is.
I mean, lots of things can make a burrito wet.
It's just a burrito with a red sauce.
Yeah, red sauce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never heard it called a wet burrito.
Me neither. I like green sauce.
Because you get it with queso sauce here too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A wet burrito. That sounds appetizing.
You said breadsticks. I thought you were going to follow up with something at the Olive Garden there. So
yeah, me too.
You threw me off.
Breadsticks at a Mexican restaurant?
A Mexican restaurant had breadsticks?
No, it's a little kind of a bar and grill place down there.
Oh, okay.
Kind of has a little bit of everything in it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it makes more sense now then. I was all like, what the hell?
Yeah, you're going to need some beer behind those carbs. You need more carbs behind the other carbs.
well, I had Miller Lite, so I tried to keep the carbs down.
Nobody can say the C word tonight.
The carbs.
Oh, carbs. I was like, what?
Not the other one.
That's kind of like a sexy word, though. It's kind of
I'm sure you guys picked up right on that when I was like, what?
Shannon doesn't mind that one as much, so.
Carbs. Say it slow. Slow and sexy. Say it again.
He's like, no.
Cody said LMAO earlier. We were cracking all this stuff. You missed some good stuff there, Eric, but it'll be
what you guys talk
We're ready on the roll tonight.
We're 3 minutes in and it already went to shit.
Shannon had us fucking porn within 3 minutes. So.
Shannon, you what?
She did, yeah.
No, that's because somebody says Holmes.
No, I was reading, so my can is like a collaboration with Holmes, Homes. And Rod thought I was saying Holmes, and Shannon's like, like John Holmes.
Yeah, I mean, what else
and he was
do you
going,
think?
well, that's not where I was thinking, but.
I mean, what if you hear the word Holmes, what do you think of?
We don't think of John Holmes.
I think of like this home.
No,
well, that's the way it's
with
spelled.
An L. With an L.
Is it Larry Holmes?
Larry Holmes.
Yeah.
heck is Larry Holmes?
One of the greatest boxers of all time.
Former heavyweight champion.
Boxer.
Okay. Oh yeah, I remember now. I remember. You told me all about him, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you remember. Was that time you instantly turned on your phone and acted like he was listening to me?
Let's see here. Craft Beer Corner says, nice fellow homebrewer here as well. I'll check it out. Thanks. Yeah, check out Thrash. Oh, the Kung Pao. Tell us about that beer, Eric.
Kung Pao, motherfucker. So this is from Stillwater. It's an artisanal. Is that how you pronounce it?
Mm-hmm.
It's a imperial stout with chili. God, I gotta get my glasses. Holy shit!
I know, right, dude? I got mine right here, so I can read the comments.
Chili powder. What is it? Ginger powder, Szechuan pepper, sea salt, and peanut extract. Comes in 11%.
Oh, we should totally get Chinese food on our next cheat day.
Oh, I did have that one. Actually, I think I put a review on that one.
I don't know that I've ever seen that one.
Think of it.
Does it smell like Chinese food?
No, it just smells like just like a regular beer, Shane.
And did he go, oh,
like a regular beer? Tastes like it smells like a Miller Lite.
Well, that's a cock tease.
oh,
Whoa!
That's another C word.
Yep.
What was the other C word?
Beer, damn it.
Carbs.
Oh,
While
yeah,
he's pouring
carbs,
While
yeah.
he's pouring it, everybody can be singing. Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Oh yeah, I got all of
If there was a beer that tasted like Chinese or Asian food, I would be an alcoholic.
Hey, what do we got here, guys? Hashtag
Dirty Glass Mafia. GM's
What's that
in the
mean?
house.
What's that mean?
Basically what it sounds
Wasn't
like.
clean?
It wasn't beer clean. It wasn't beer clean.
But he's a
yeah.
Virgo. Everything in his house is probably clean unless he's married to a Sagittarius.
Eric's not married.
I know. Then everything in his house is probably clean.
He does clean a lot. He just cleaned his new mud room.
I know.
Well, as you can tell, I still got the stuff right here. I got the flooring there, and I got crap here. I still got to take care of yet. So, not quite there yet. Not quite there yet.
So what do you think of the taste of that? Because I had that one actually.
I haven't even had it yet.
It actually surprised me when I rated it.
As good or?
Yeah, it was better than I thought. It's everything they had on the can. It's like when you tasted it, it all came
I
together
want some
well.
of that.
Ooh, yeah, I like that little spice to it. Wow.
Yeah.
Does it taste like Chinese food?
Well done, Shannon.
God. Well, then why is it called Kung Pao chicken?
It's not fried
It's not
rice,
Kung Pao
Shannon.
chicken. It's just Kung Pao.
Whatever.
It's not fried rice.
Oh, God, that sounds so good. I don't even like rice that much.
You white hillbilly, you go home now.
Yeah, you've been here. You've been here for an hour. You must leave
You've been
now.
here for 4 hours, you go home now.
You must go.
So what do you think of it right now?
I like that little spice kick to it. I'm digging that. I'm not really getting much of the peanut extract.
Yeah,
It does taste a little bit salty. I will give it that.
it's not the MSG in there, right?
What's that?
MSG. Did they put MSG in that one? No, they put that.
Will you fill me up
in
too?
the can?
We put it on the can, but I'm thinking of their General Goza. I had that one, and that one had MSG. I don't think that one has it. Now I think about it.
Ingredients are water, malted barley, peanut extract, chili, Szechuan pepper, ginger, hops, yeast, and that's it.
Okay, you might be getting that ginger next. I think the ginger did come through when I had it.
Yeah,
I'm not big on ginger.
Yeah,
Are y'all ginger fans? Do you like ginger?
she was better than she was
like
better than Marianne.
Yeah.
She was better than Marianne.
Yeah. No, she wasn't. Marianne was way
yeah.
better than ginger.
No.
You really like ginger better than Marianne?
Of course.
Rod. What about you?
Come on, Rod.
Eric,
I like both, man.
no, if you have to pick one.
Eric was more of a Mrs. Howe.
Eric's Mrs. Howe. Now he's doing a sexy finger to the lips.
He was in it for the money. I mean, what do you want from him?
She needs loving too.
Well, she had Mr.
Everyone needs a
Howe.
little loving,
sure
Todd.
put it
Everybody
to her.
needs a little loving. I can't hear me what I just said either. I don't know
that-
why I'm yelling it.
I thought you said mutual
Oh.
loving, but I didn't hear what you said before that.
Todd, everyone needs a little loving.
That's right.
Look
Little-
at Shane, like, shut up.
Just
little-
pick one. Pick Ginger or Marianne. Todd picks Marianne. Rod picks Ginger. Who do
You're
you
the
pick?
tiebreaker.
It's a flip of a coin for me. I'll take either one.
He's
So
not
Skipper or
Yeah.
Gilligan.
Yes, you like Skipper or Gilligan?
Oh,
He's
God,
like-
neither
What
one.
was,
No.
what was the movie with when it was Owen Wilson and the Starsky and Hutch movie, and he's like, "What do you like, blondes or brunettes?" And he's like, "Well, I'm more preferred to blondes." He's like, "Okay, that's fine. I'll take anything." So he's just like,
Oh
they
my
were trying to
God.
choose between a blonde or brunette girl they were going to hit on.
Well, what do you all like, blondes or brunettes?
I mean, it's all women.
Yeah.
Oh God!
end
Just
of the
fucking
day,
answer the question. Jesus
equal
Christ!
opportunist.
I'm a married guy, Shannon.
You know what?
Ugh.
You know what? We're gonna have. I'm asking you
I
to
don't
settle
like you
down
anymore.
here, because I don't like your attitude right now.
You're what?
You're gonna have. I'm gonna have to ask you to settle down because I don't like your attitude.
Come on! I'm just trying to pick. I'm trying to figure your woman. I'm trying to put her in a bow and send her to your doorstep.
Give me a redhead with some big old titties. That's all I'm asking
Okay.
for.
Redhead. Redhead. I didn't even think about a redhead.
Don't let Shannon push you over the edge.
Like
Eric.
fake titties or real titties?
It don't matter to me.
It
Come
does
on.
matter because if they're
It doesn't
fake,
matter. They're big.
it does.
Hey.
If they're fake, the nipples will be pointing at you, and if they're real and they're over 35, their nipples will be pointing to the floor. So fake or real? I'll ask you again.
Words to live by there. So there.
Well,
you go. Next time you go out, you'll know.
At least we made it to the 10 o'clock hour before we started breaking.
Barely.
I'm not even that drunk. Like people think I'm just so drunk I just start talking like this, but I'm really
Oh,
not
you
even
don't
drunk.
know.
Oh, they don't
Depends on if John Holmes counts. Then we didn't make anywhere close to that.
Hey,
Yeah.
Shannon.
Yeah.
Real. Definitely real. Definitely.
Real. Okay. I don't know. There's some fake tits that look really good. They look
Hey,
real. Like if I could get
hey.
fake tits that looked real, I would totally do it.
I have at a titty bar. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Hey,
Yeah.
at a gentleman's club.
Now you're gonna censor yourself.
Gentlemen's club.
Yeah, a gentleman's club because that's where the gentlemen hang out.
So a lady went, "You want to go have a lap dance?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm in my toes." I'm like, "Hell yeah, I'm gonna have a lap dance." So I get up there and she's, doing her thing, all that, and I'm like, I don't give a shit if I get kicked out. So I'm feeling around, doing all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Well,
But you gave
I
her a
get
lot.
to
You
her-
gave her good tip though too, right?
Oh, he gave her a tip.
Okay.
He gave her a tip,
Not
all
the
right.
tip, not the tip of
He
your
gave her a
penis.
tip, all right.
Not the tip of your penis, like a cash tip. You brought it up. You brought it up.
It don't matter still.
So anyway, to get back to my story.
Okay.
Anyway, so I'm kind of and I get it right up here, and I'm like, they were freaking hard as rocks. And
Yeah.
from that point on, I was like, nope.
It went
Mm-mm.
You-
That's exactly
really,
what it is. Yeah.
really.
Hey
Yes.
Jamie, what's going on? Welcome, my friend.
Yes.
Wow.
Jamie White's probably going, what in the fuck? Did I just
Yeah, what did I just get into?
Really, it really just like turned you off that bad
Oh, yeah.
because they were hard.
Yeah.
Shannon's not gonna let us turn the pages.
Oh.
Back with Billy, the house says cheers, guys. And
The morning latte.
ooh. It says Cody said thank you. I don't like the word fiance either. It's like how the
It's-
word
Yes,
More-
it's
it's
too
like-
fancy.
well he says
It's
it's like how the word
pretentious.
he says it's like how the word moist bothers people.
Why does the word moist bother
I
you?
know,
Moist
I-
does not bother me.
I
I've
know a
never
lot of
got
people that don't like
a lot of
that,
women
though.
don't like moist.
Why? I don't understand that.
I
The
know
word
it's that-
moist
I say-
bothers a lot of people.
Do you like women though?
Is it women? I thought it was just people in general.
There's no men. I mean, I've said there's no men. There's not many men that I would say were bothered by moist. I mean,
Yeah, you guys probably
that I
like
know
moist
of.
stuff, don't you?
No, I used to work with a guy that did.
he didn't like the word
that.
moist.
No,
I mean, what's the difference between moist and damp?
I don't know.
It's just
I
I don't
mean-
know. I don't know what it is, but there's like
There's like some
weird.
people have sexual connotation to it. I think. But it's like if you got a nice piece of cake, like when they get sheet cakes in the office.
Oh, yes.
If it's moist, I'm like, this is nice and moist.
Right,
calling it what it is.
Right.
Well, as a nurse-
look at Webster's. That's the proper definition of the word.
As a nurse,
No,
I'm not from Boston.
Boston.
Not from Boston.
Out of
Yeah,
car. Get out of
moist
car.
is like a dressing. Wet to dry, moist to dry. There's like,
Right.
Moist is not a bad word. I mean, there's a lot more offensive words than moist.
I don't know if any of the beer reviewers use moist to describe the beers.
Ooh,
Yeah,
man,
I mean,
it's
that's-
nice and moist.
You
I
should
would
start
never
using
use
it,
it.
right?
You use when it's drying. You use when
Right.
it's dry, but they'll say it's wet on set times, but they
I
never really
think
say
that-
moist.
There you go. You and Eric should both start
It's like
using
I've
think
got the
maybe
moisture. I've got the moisture in my lips. It's right there, so moist. I mean, that's an interesting review, maybe.
If somebody told me moist bothered them, I would be like, they might be a little uptight.
Stick in their
You know?
ass, maybe.
They might be a little uptight. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
I think a lot of people are uptight though. Compared to me, maybe that's why.
Hey, cheers, Kimmy. Kimmy Del Rey's in the house.
Smells like peanut butter.
Oh, shut up, Siri. I say Kimmy, not Siri. And then Cody, I said no soup for you when you're talking about the Seinfeld
It tastes like
episode
peanut
earlier.
butter. Does it have peanut butter in it?
Let me see here. Hey, thanks, Craft Beer Corner. This is a fun stream. No idea. We haven't got to the crazy parts yet.
Yeah, just stay tuned.
Thrash says, getting a bit weird in here. LOL.
I only show up every so often, so next week will be back to normal.
Billy says, Seinfeld and Beard. Okay. Ravens #1 in AFC East. Let me see. Cody says South Park is an awesome show.
I love South Park.
Let me read the comment first. Get all excited. South Park is an awesome show. They're so quick to relevant outcomes. It makes me think they have episodes ready for different outcomes for different situations like elections.
Yes.
I think they actually do that, honestly.
The Simpsons may do that too on stuff because they had stuff that they prepared.
Way
and
back
it's
in the day.
Or they got somebody that has a time machine, which I would love to get a hold of and go back and bet some money and be a millionaire by now.
Yeah, no shit. Be like Back to the Future and get the book and.
Do you all remember Hanky the Christmas Pooh?
Yeah, cool.
I had a T-shirt with Mr. Hanky.
Hanky the Christmas Pooh.
Yeah.
I love Hanky the Christmas Pooh. Cartman. My mom and my dad liked South Park like way back in the day, and my brother got Cartman, a big stuffed Cartman doll, and he'd push his little hand and he'd do all of his like little sayings like,
Yeah, I like cheesy poofs.
yeah, I like cheesy poofs. And, what was it? He was going to take his ball and go home or something like that. Or something about Kenny. What was it? Kenny always got killed, remember?
You killed
He
Kenny.
killed us.
Yeah, you killed Kenny. Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up one time when we used to, I was in college and stuff, but we used to be drinking and maybe a few other things and watching Ren and Stimpy. So South Park doesn't even freak me out the least. Ren and Stimpy
Ren and
is some crazy
Stimpy.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, Todd was going to get a tattoo before we met because what were you, Stimpy or Ren? Ren would make sense, but
No, they call me Stimpy for that reason because my last name was Ren.
yeah. So he was
That
going to
was
get
kind
a
of my
tattoo.
nickname when I played baseball in
Stimpy.
college was Stimpy. So I was freshman year and we went to
In college or high school?
in college, Panama City for spring break, play baseball. I was gonna get a tattoo of that then, but then I was afraid because I was gonna be too sore and wouldn't be able to play.
Oh my God. Doesn't make you that
Well, I was gonna
sore.
put it on like my shoulder or something. Well,
It's just on your skin. It doesn't go to your muscle.
well, I know that, but I didn't. I was fucking 17 years old. All right.
You should have totally done it. You'd have been a badass.
Yeah. 44-year-old with a Stimpy tattoo.
I think it's hot.
Do you?
I would think it's hot.
Again, if you guys are going to get into the whole.
We're gonna cut you
I
off
knew that
here.
was
That means we
coming.
need a ride now. Okay.
All right, we'll see ourselves out.
Let's see.
Everybody thought it was weird. Now they're going, "What the fuck is going on?"
That wasn't that weird. Could get a lot weirder.
Well,
We
it
said,
has
okay.
before, I'm sure.
I've been drinking. Well, definitely, it's Thursday. It's Thursday. Of course, we're drinking. Everybody should be drinking. It says, I usually enjoy my IPAs a touch warmer because it allows the hops to pop, I feel like. It does. You shouldn't be drinking your IPAs like ice cold. I remember back in the day, when Eric used to drink the stouts, I tell her, stop drinking it right out of the fridge.
I'm sure you probably yelled that right when you're watching my video too. Stop drinking it out of the fridge.
That's the only bad thing of actually
out of the fridge. This one is.
That's the only bad thing of actually going to the breweries and stuff is you get it right out of the tap and it's cold, especially like stouts or whatever.
Yeah,
it's like cold, you know.
I have to let it sit there.
I've actually gone with my brother, with Shannon's brother. We go to some breweries and stuff. I'd order a stout, let it sit, and get another beer while it's, you know, and drink it first, like an IPA or something. Let the stout kind of warm up a little bit.
I love that little spicy tinge to it right there.
Hey, thanks for swinging by, Rob. Said he'd get some Z's. He has to be at work 3:30 in the morning.
Oh,
ouch!
Shit.
Laters and cheers. All thanks for having me. Hey, always feel free. Always come out. 3:30 in the morning. Wow.
Ain't too far behind him though.
That's true. You're only a couple hours behind him. I'm only.
You're far behind him the time you got to be at work. Just the time you get up's different.
Well, I'll be there at 7.
Yeah, but that's like 4 hours later. 3.5.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all right.
5:30 to 7. 3:30.
3:30. He said 3:30.
Oh, I thought you meant for me.
3:30.
Todd's at 5:30. I get up at 7:30. I got a hell of a in the morning.
I have to be at work at 6:30, and I get up at 6:07.
That's
like I said, we're gonna have to ask you to settle down.
Never.
And then Cody said basically everything except lagers, right? So lagers is the one you want really cold. As for beer temperature, you can purchase a thermometer in the beer. Yeah, you can get that. Or like I said, with the cooler, I have the thing in there now, which is nice. Craft Beer Corner said you have me at barley wine. LOL. Thrash, I love my beers at 32 except stouts, barley wines, dark porters, beers like those. And then Billy said hello to Kimmy. And Craft Beer Corner, my daily is IPAs, and I normally sip one over the other course of 1 to 2 hours. They get the room temperature, all those hops and bitters get heat. I'm a weirdo for sure, but I do it pretty well, all styles. Yeah. And Blake said cheers. Back to back was Billy and the chat. Still getting caught up with some of these comments. Pale Rider, good movie, great movie. Clint Eastwood, Pale Rider.
I haven't seen that.
Definitely one. That's an old Western. That's
a good one.
That's back in the 80s. That was after he did Josie Wells. Josie Wells is one of my favorites from Clint Eastwood, though.
I never heard of that one either.
You never heard of Outlaw Josie Wells? Are you kidding me? It's like you live in Indiana or something.
Hey, you never heard of An Unfinished Life, so I don't want to hear it.
You need to watch.
Nobody heard of Unfinished Life.
Never heard of what?
Unfinished Life.
Oh. Eric wasn't here then. If he knows that one.
Have you ever seen Unfinished Life?
No.
He's not a movie person. No,
I'm not a big movie person.
He's a Virgo.
Like
I didn't realize that.
You talk like it's a bad thing, yet you're married to one.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that's.
You always say it like it's a put down or something. Oh, but you're a Virgo.
No, I don't think that way at all.
Piss off,
Eric, how do you take it when she says that?
Piss off, Shannon.
Kind of like a put down,
You
right?
just respond. People need Virgos. This world needs Virgos more than they need Sagittarius.
Might be a little bit of a back.
Apparently, they need me to clean here, Shannon. They need me to clean.
Yes, no Virgos.
See,
we need Virgos.
Yeah.
But Cody said he was going to be that kind of a badass old man. We were talking about Gran Torino.
Yes.
Gilbert's in the house says, cheers, fools. Is his Packers sitting atop the division, I think.
Where's the Go Pack Go coming up, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be there. And then cheers to Gilbert from Thrash, and cheers everybody from Cody. And Craft Beer Corner, I don't think it's weird. It's taking me probably 45 minutes to enjoy this IPA that's warmed up, experience different flavors. I think it's a good way to drink it. Yeah. And then Gilbert, cheers to Thrash. Cody said, I almost forgot bottles. He bottled his Oktoberfest last week. Nice. So hopefully it turned out well on the Oktoberfest for you there, Cody. So you might chill and try one. Do it. Do it now.
Cody, I'm waiting for your malt liquor.
Oh, I meant Grand Armory. Sorry. That's what you're talking about. Have you heard of them? Grand Armory?
Mhm.
Okay, so they're out of Michigan, right?
Yep. Yep.
Hey, Eclipse in the house. What's happening? Says, hey, boss. Cheers, brother, out in Washington. And hope you are doing well. And Thrash says, cheers back there. Tattoo Bacon's in the house. So Joshua wrote the book about the AB and Bev purchase of Goose. AB is just dirty. They have some dirty tactics for sure. So we do know some of that stuff they do, which is why a lot of craft beer drinkers don't drink the beers under them. Ooh.
Not as bad as Founders.
We didn't get the founder. We were waiting for you.
Shit.
We were waiting for you to show up before we got into the Founders because you're in Michigan. So we'll get to that here in a second. Gilbert having a St. Bernardus Extra 4. Very nice. Eclipse says, hey, Thrash. And Go Pack Go. There it is.
There it is.
And Blake, cheers, guys. And John Womack's in the house. Beer. And he says, go Cowboys. I got a Cowboys fan in here. Down at the Chili's, strapping on a feed bag. So, Gilbert.
What's that mean?
A feed bag? Like he's down there in Chili's getting after
Feed
eating.
bag. Oh, I thought you said feedback.
Chili's, the restaurant?
Yeah. You know, baby bag. I want my baby bag, baby bag, baby bag. Chili's.
You must
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Barbecue sauce.
Never mind.
Come
Is
on,
he
Shane,
at
do the
Chili's?
program.
Yeah, he's at Chili's, strapping on the feed bag. He's about to get his
Oh, so
grub
he's
on.
eating at Chili's. Okay.
That's
I got
what
it
means.
now.
That's what strapping on the feed bag means.
I'm caught up now. Caught up. I got it.
If he would have been at Golden Corral, he would have pulled up to the trough. I mean, you know.
God, it's been so long since when we have a cheat day. That's where we need to go. We need to go to the
Golden Corral.
Golden Corral and fucking just stuff
You go to
ourselves.
You go to Golden Corral and you stand there right where before you pay, you just look around. You're like, do I really want to be here right now?
Fuck yeah, I want to be
Yeah.
there. There's all kinds of food. I don't care.
But you gotta wear your shoulder pads and helmet because you're gonna get taken out. The
No,
old lady sitting at the end of the table waiting for a prime rib to come
I'm a
out.
taker outer. I'm the taker
Or
outer.
the crab leg. She's gonna tackle your ass to get them. So you
I
gotta-
don't know if I've seen as many people wearing
You gotta
sweats
come
in their
equipped.
place besides the gym than they do at Golden Corral.
Why would you not wear sweats to a buffet?
gotta come.
It's like you strapped up in a uniform, Golden Corral.
That's
You
just
might
being
have to-
prepared. That's
Like-
being prepared.
It's like the
Did you
sumo
just say
wrestlers
wear
when they do the little
sweats?
squatting.
sweat, like
It's like-
sweatpants with
Yeah.
no, like with an elastic waistband.
Like super elastic, yeah, you know.
Yes.
You see the whole family just come in, and you're like, oh, they're mean business, and then they do
You're
their sumo wrestling stretching like with their hands on their knees, ready to go
We've never seen
tear
that.
some shit. No, I said that's kind of what it reminds you of.
It's like, who put a chicken wing in the chocolate fountain? This is not for chicken wings.
That sounds good. Chocolate covered chicken wings.
Oh, what?
Have you ever tried it?
No, and I'm not going to.
You put
I
chocolate
don't
in
knock
chicken wings
anything
before?
until I try it. I'm like, you never know. You might like it.
I still haven't
Try
done fried,
everything once.
I still haven't done,
Don't-
I still haven't done a fried bologna sandwich, so I
I
can't.
haven't
really,
done a fried. Oh, I've done fried.
You all
bologna.
have never had fried
I've
bologna.
had
Never
fried
had.
bologna.
I haven't.
Rod's
no.
never even.
No.
I haven't had.
Well,
a
when
fried
we have our
chicken.
sleepover, I will make fried bologna for everybody.
The fried
You will have
bologna.
to have it.
The Schlitz sign is coming with me, Shannon.
No, that's been with me since I was 5 years old.
What?
Yeah.
The Schlitz sign.
Oh,
Cody said he's going on a 14-day mini cut after today, so he's enjoying his beers tonight. LOL.
A mini cut.
gotta get
Cutting
ready
off
for his
beers
wedding.
before he guys wed in 2 weeks.
Oh, God, I'm
So
so
he's-
glad I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that, Cody?
He just makes sure you stay in that tux, probably.
Because he's a man and he can lose like 50 pounds in 2 weeks. He's a man. He can lose 50 pounds in 2 weeks.
I can't.
And has
You know,
anybody,
there you can lose it then.
he says, anybody had beers from the brewery? I think I'm going to try their stuff soon. Yes, I've had many a beer from the brewery.
Mm-hmm.
So some are good, some are like okay. So, I mean, I think some people put a little bit more hype on it than needs
That's
to be
what I was
on
gonna
there.
say.
But
Yeah.
they got some decent ones that you can find them there. I actually got some, I think, downstairs I got to drink at some point. Oh,
So how much have you lost since we started?
Mm,
I don't even want to hear it, but I'm going to ask anyway.
18 pounds, I think.
18
18.
pounds.
Good job, man.
That's good.
Yeah, great. I'm so happy for you.
Can't you tell?
Now wait a minute. I thought Todd was going to be on the screen and Shannon was going to be on the screen.
I'm on the
We
diet.
tried, but it was no. He
They
said on
tried
the
it.
screens.
They were having interference
Oh
between each
yeah, it
other.
was echoing.
It was echoing.
I deserve my own screen.
Yeah, well.
Here we go. Here we go.
We'll throw you
Here we
downstairs
go.
in the basement then.
No, but listen, I don't know. I probably lost between 10 and 15, but I've been fasting.
Well, that's good.
like,
It's harder
Yeah,
for
but
women to lose weight than guys.
it is. But I've been fasting. I've been doing a lot harder than Todd has, as far as like the fasting and stuff. Like I'll do 16 hours no eating, 8 hours eating.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
But it helps. It really does. It jump started me, but
So I just eat and then I just go to the gym. Eat and go to the gym.
I don't have I'm not a gym person.
Well, throw up the weight. Well, I can't throw up the weights now because my wrists are still recovering, but
I don't want to be muscular. I want to be soft and curvy.
you could be muscular and still be
I don't
soft.
want to be I don't want to be muscular. I want to be
You
a
don't
woman.
gotta be full muscular.
And I told Todd he needs to stop. I like a man with some meat on his bones.
Let's see the gun show, Shannon.
Especially going to the wintertime.
I'm not showing him my gun show. You show him your gun show.
She's gonna
guns no more.
She's gonna need a cuddle buddy as it's warm and
I love a man with some meat on his bones. I wish he wouldn't have lost a pound.
It's your fault. You started this shit.
Yeah.
That's because I'm going to be in a wedding for a 20-something-year-old.
Todd's got no problem going back and drinking the beer he loves.
That's fine. I want him. I like a soft man I like a dad bod.
Todd, you heard it.
Yeah, I've been telling him forever.
She has. I just started because I thought it'd be easier for her too if we were doing
I don't even eat when you're home because I'm fasting. So eat whatever the fuck you want to.
He's trying to be supportive.
That's fine.
Right.
I agree. That's fine, and I appreciate that, and that's great. I love that about him. But I'd rather him have meat on his bones.
Well, I still got meat on my bones. Don't worry about that.
It's not as much. It's not enough meat on your bones. I like.
God damn it, Todd! She was Grizzly Adams.
Yeah, I want you to gain like 30 pounds.
Jesus.
She wants you to be Merlin Olsen.
Yeah.
I mean, I want you to be like that, but I don't want you to risk your health. Like if you could do all that and still like be a little chubby without like,
I'm still chubby.
You're not chubby.
What Craft Beer Corner says he likes a Thai style beer. Sounds great. Talking about the one that Eric was having. And Billy to jump off and Drunk was like, hey Billy, hope you have a great night. I think I saw Billy jumped off. The Kung Pao.
I'm gonna have to look at that. I'm gonna look for that. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I got the one I got was when my fellow employees got it when I was out from work with the wrist. That was
We
one of
also
the beers
get
they got me.
words here, which I was surprised to see.
Szechuan Chinese, of course, but with peanut feels more Thai to me anyway. Like some good Szechuan. Elbow's in the house. What's happening, Elbow? Cheers, brother. Down in Florida, representing the Panhandle State. Not the Panhandle State.
That is the Panhandle State.
Well, a part of it's a Panhandle, but right, it's the. I guess it is a Panhandle State.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking of like it's not an island; it's a peninsula. Peninsula, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is a peninsula.
It's a peninsula. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Craft Beer Corner, Marianne has that. He's a Marianne fan. Craft Beer Corner was a Marianne
Yes,
fan.
Marianne. Yes.
And
Ginger was what's that? Gold digger.
She didn't chase Mr. Howe around. He was rich. She was right there.
Well, they were on an island. What's good money? What's money going to do for you?
What's money got to do with it?
If he's a gold digger.
Raz in the house. Without the Raz, yes, he prefers brunettes.
And everybody wants to be blonde.
As for Billy says, as for Julian's who Ginger Marianne, I would hope that it's a modern day and both girls are bi. Oh yeah, I would be. Billy comment right there.
Wow.
Good point. Very good point.
Billy's putting up threes.
Hey, if you're stuck on an island, then why not?
Eric Gilbert says 20C Energizer in a Korean accent. Shout out to Do the Right Thing. But he was asking, was it 20C or 20D? I think he was asking 20D in the movie. And the Asian guy was saying 20C. That's right. He's got it there.
20D batteries, that's a freaking lot of money.
That was the old boombox for Do the Right Thing.
Mhm.
Radio Raheem need a 20D battery. The guy was saying 20C. Like, no, 20D, motherfucker, 20D.
We're talking about bras.
No, batteries.
Batteries.
You never saw Do the Right Thing?
No.
Come on, Shannon.
I don't know what you asking me for.
Because I've been with you for half my
I know,
fucking
but you
life.
watch a lot of shit that ain't around.
It sounds like some we'd watch together.
Cody said damp is wetter than moist. And then Eric says moist, all caps, excited about it.
Yeah, was that a good or a bad
I'm
thing?
surprised there was no sons after that.
I would think men would
Yeah.
love moist.
Moist sons.
I would think that would be a woman's problem, not a man's. Like a woman would have a problem with the word, not a man.
Yeah, well, you with yeah. Damp would be like a used towel, and moist would be like a towel that didn't get fully dried in the dryer.
What are you talking about? Gold digging whores there, Shannon? Is that what you're talking about?
Yep, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know what he's talking about. Yep.
Head coach, shout out to Mandy Robinson and Baby Burrito. And
Mandy's
and then Billy says wet. Oh yeah. Oh, Craft Beer Corners at LOL says, I have a few friends that loathe the word moist. To each their own, I suppose. So he's okay with it.
There's so many other things to be upset about in this world.
Yeah. Oh, Trish is in the house. Keep sipping and said no volume, but watching y'all laugh and lurking in the chat. She probably got the baby.
God, you might want to
sipping wine and writing baby shower thank yous. Yeah.
Aww.
She just had a baby. I think Trish had her baby like 2 months ago, maybe, or a month. Maybe it's been 2 months.
Babies,
So, yeah.
babies. I love babies.
And then the Craft Beer Corner. Oh, nice. Funny enough, my day job as an administrator signer for baseball umpires. Biggest in the world, actually. Everything from 13-year-old rec ball and Little League through Division I college. Oh, nice. Speaking of umpires, that one umpire in the Major League got himself in a little bit of trouble.
War.
Yeah, he got a little bit of trouble up there.
Yes.
Baseball, like, we may have to let you go.
I know, because he was talking about Civil War.
Yeah.
He's going to go get him an AR-15, and there's going to be Civil War. I saw that.
That guy.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
There was a Major League umpire who said if Trump got impeached, he's getting himself an AR-15 to prepare for a civil war.
Tomorrow.
Wow.
I don't know where he's going to buy it at because like Walmart and Dick's and all these other stores stopped selling them. So
Yeah.
Where are you going to get it from, buddy?
Right on the underground.
What a dumbass. What a fucking dumbass.
Well, what umpire was it? Do you know?
It was a Major League one. He's not in the playoffs in the World Series rotation, but yeah, he's done some postseason stuff. MLB said
stupid people.
MLB said they're reviewing it right now. Gilbert said I still drink beers out of fridge once in a while. And Eric thanks Trish for swinging by. And Cody said, we're drinking 5 gallons of my Oktoberfest at the wedding, along with Duvel Belgian for my bros. Only the best for this occasion. That's
Nice.
treating them right with some Duvel Belgian. Bless you.
Oh, thank you.
Duvel.
Fuck,
Can't
God.
go wrong with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, Duvel is always nice to have around. Foamy Head now having a left-hand milk stout. Not hating on that.
Good.
Cheers to
That's
that.
a good one. That's a good one.
Craft Beer Corner, so that's a great beer lineup for the wedding. Cody says, I'm done with Founders. Have been for a while. It took a
Fuck
good thing and ruined
Founders.
it.
Fuck
So,
Founders. Fuck them.
Segue.
I want to go and burn
I'm trying to get on the
all their
comments.
shit down. Fuck them. Pitchforks and torches. Fuck them. Fuck them.
Wow. You're going to hear about as bad as that one guy with AR-15s and if Trump gets impeached.
Just saying. Well,
Slowly building
I
towards
feel
us.
more justified in my opinion than
Save
you.
some for a little bit later.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't feeling golden.
Now I'm
Corral, to
pissed.
be
Now I'm
honest.
pissed. I am so pissed now.
Settle down, Shannon. Settle down.
Give her another drink, Toss, so she can relax for a little bit.
It'll make it worse. It'll just make it worse.
So Cody said, oh, he wasn't feeling the Golden Corral, but it's the same parking lot as my gym, so I felt going into a buffet and not the gym today.
Nice.
The buffet uniform is a raincoat and pants. Lead me to your crab legs, son. Many a fight has been started over crab legs. On crab
I
leg
don't
night
eat
on a
seafood
buffet.
at buffets.
Crab legs, you got to come equipped with some pads.
I don't
soda
eat
pads and a
seafood
helmet.
or sushi at buffets.
Now Blake is actually over in Arkansas, and he said fried bologna sleepover. I'm in. LOL.
I want the sleepover to happen so bad, and nobody will come.
Blake knows where it's at. Fried
Yeah,
bologna.
Blake won't be that far.
I'm not a big cook, but I can handle fried bologna.
Tell him, Blake, where it's at right there.
What mayonnaise? I can get some Miracle Whip. Are y'all Miracle Whip or mayonnaise guys?
It don't matter.
I'm Miracle Whip. If I had to take mayonnaise, I would take it, but it's Miracle Whip.
We can splurge and get both. We'll get both.
And then Gilbert said he had a brewery sour. It was decent. And then Billy said cheers to Tris. And craft beer corner, it depends on the beer. The breweries or Exada is absolutely killer. I've had the Exada. That actually was good. That was a good one from them. Cody said he's doing a rational fast, 2 days fasted, 1 refeed, 2 fasted, and so forth. I do fasting a lot because it helps promote healthy cell regeneration. I feel much more mentally clean and energetic. I don't think I've ever really had to. The only time I fast is like a medical test the next day or something. Like, oh, you can't eat like before.
Mm-hmm.
And
but the only fasting I've done is when I had to go get my blood drawn for like at the end of the work day, and you got to go all day without eating.
Cody said, my arms have gotten as big as my son's head since I started lifting in May. LMAO. He's got the gun show going. He's 24 pythons.
24 inch, yeah.
A little exaggerated, but they have grown significantly. He said he cut back to a 4-day split for lifting. It has been better than 6 days a week. Yeah, because you want to give days in between to let your muscles actually relax in between to grow the muscle. Cody says, arms, it's not possible to put on more than 10 pounds of muscle in a lifetime without synthetics like steroids, high, and SARMs. I don't know. Some people are all natural. I mean, look at like with Schwarzenegger or whatever. He's never done steroids or anything that I'm aware of. So I said gold digger, grew up beer corner we were talking earlier. No steroids is 8 to 12 rep and lifting heavy. And Raz says, what's up? And I've got leaner, and the amount I lift has went up quite a bit though. So that's a good thing. My wife and I do a 4-day-a-week split routine. Every day is abs and cardio, and back and biceps, T-chest, back, legs, shoulders, stretch bike, MMA, box, etc. That's a lot of activity there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I just do the 12 to 16 ounce curl here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing I do is 16 ounces at a time, says Raz.
There you go.
And then Cody said I do upper 1 day, lower pull day 2, and then the same the next 2, but with push exercises, finally doing front squats. There was my big goal for the year. There's actually a routine called Strongest that some people do, and it's actually 5 sets of 5 reps, you do 3 days a week, and you're only working 5 different exercises, but it hits all your main groups. And a lot of people got stronger off of that one, which is a pretty good routine. And I'm mostly interested in the brewery sour beers. And I think they'll be okay with those. They have like a side brewery with IPAs, right? So it's brewery and brewery Thoreau that they actually have there. And just went to try it. I know a lot of people out in California actually do like those and go to the brewery pretty often. Actually, Barcelona, Spain had riots last week. It's in the whole country of Chile, as in Hong Kong and several African countries had uprising, also Venezuela, economic conditions. And Miracle Whip is fake mayo, just get sandwich spread.
You know what though? If you actually look at the ingredients, they're I think exactly the
same ingredients, because we had this conversation in Tennessee when we went to visit my aunt and uncle, because we were looking like at the nutritional value, and one had like 10 more calories. But you looked at the nutritional value, and they all had the same ingredients. But I guess maybe some had more of the other, and less, you know.
It definitely tastes different.
Miracle Whip has more of a tangy feel than
Miracle. Oh, for sure, yeah. And Miracle Whip, if you put Miracle Whip in a salad, like if you do like the 7-layer salad, or just like my aunt and uncle, they didn't have any mayonnaise, but they had Miracle Whip, and they just made like a salad, lettuce, tomato, onions, all that stuff. I put Miracle Whip in it. It was so good. They didn't have ranch. All they had was some dressing I didn't like.
Italian or French or something.
Yeah, the Miracle Whip and salad was pretty damn good. Yeah.
And Cody said, I've heard of the 10 pounds in the first year. And Billy said, Arnold admitted steroids, high cocaine, pot. Fact. I never heard that. Interesting.
What?
Billy said Arnold had admitted doing that stuff when he was younger.
I don't know if
Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
I would have. It'd be hard pressed to say he didn't do steroids as much as he lifted.
Oh, for sure. Cocaine, pot. Pot is like, who doesn't do pot? Who hasn't done pot?
There's some people that haven't done pot, but
Yeah,
I don't consider pot a drug myself.
But who gives a shit? It's not like
especially nowadays.
It doesn't make you do anything but eat and sleep and be happy. So
it made Taco Bell a business.
All right, yeah.
And Gilbert said, I lift beer can and whiskey bottles. And Billy said most sports stars have been on SARMs, and Greg Glitch have been pro. He trained a lot of pros, a lot of TV stars. The Rock steroids, Danny Wahlberg steroids. I don't know. I know professional athletes that didn't do steroids. I mean, I've known athletes that have been pros and they weren't on steroids. So I'm not going to say a lot of them were, but there's definitely been some. I mean, baseball has that era of athletes doing steroids.
Yeah. Steroid era, yeah.
And there are football players that are caught and stuff too. So cheers, everybody, from Alan. Welcome, Alan. Glad you could join us. Miracle Whip is a salad dressing. That's what I was thinking. Salad dressing. So most have admitted doing steroids. So you're saying all, and I can't say all because
Can you read that?
I can't say all either, Beth.
Yeah.
I'm
I know a bodybuilder here where I'm at in Cincinnati. I don't think he has it all, but
I'm gonna have to call bullshit on that. So.
And then I'm Northeast Coast and a male elitist. Northeast Coast, you're a Canadian and a male elitist, Gilbert. And then he said, I only eat Japanese mayo. It is the best mayo on earth, period.
Is that like the ginger? Oh, I don't like ginger except for ginger dressing.
You never had spicy mayo for Japanese orange mayo?
Did you just do this, Rod?
I didn't do that. I
thought that's what you did. I thought that Japanese mayo was something I didn't know about.
Between a John Holmes and a shaking, I tell you.
And your mind's in the gutter.
She's like, I'm always in the gutter. You ever seen sushi with the orange mayo, the orange on top? You ever seen sushi, Shannon?
Yeah, I love sushi. The yum yum rolls are orange.
Like the orange. That's like Japanese mayo, like the orange.
Okay. That's in with the spice, kind of spicy.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah.
Oh, yum. I love, God, we haven't had sushi in a long time. I love sushi.
Yeah. And then Cody says, tomorrow I'll take my center console apart because my license fell down the parking brake under the console. If I get pulled over in the car, but I can't reach it. LOL. So,
and don't you have to have that for your wedding?
They probably got all their wedding paperwork already done. They had to have that out of the way.
We didn't do that until the day before our wedding, didn't we?
Oh, really?
Because we were in Vegas and we had to go to the courthouse in Vegas.
Oh, you eloped.
Oh. Yeah.
All right. So I got caught up on the comments here. Crack another beer open.
Oh, here we go.
Shannon looked like she was hitting a joint there for a second.
I'm ready to fucking pounce.
So, do we go to the big elephant in the room? That's kind of like pretty much.
They're fucked, Rod. They're fucked.
They've been taking
as they should be.
They've been taking up the week on all the beer news lately. Again, here's my.
They're so stupid.
Here's my all-day IPA right there. Lagunitas daytime.
Was that
on the channel earlier this week? I did a video about it from the deposition aspect of this general manager Dominic Ryan. I sat there.
How fucking stupid can you be?
I don't know if he was trying to be funny.
I haven't seen their DNA.
Yeah. He says, I don't even know if Michael Jordan is black.
Yeah, what?
Michael B. Jordan or Michael Jordan. Take your pick. Either one of them are black.
He needs new representation.
Or Colin Kaepernick.
Says, I don't know if President Obama was black. What?
I miss him.
And it's like, I don't know. It's the thing. It was almost like you were watching a Chappelle sketch when you're reading through stuff. Like,
it really was.
Like, this asshole can't really be sitting here saying this stuff. And it's actual true life, but it's happening. And then when they go into the piece and they started adding more of the stuff that's been taking place at Founders, you're almost like, even if it wasn't a deposition, all the other shit that was happening should have been bothering people. there should have been other things that were happening between the printers and the N-word being thrown around.
Oh God.
That
It's
whole
kinda
deposition is almost a Saturday Night Live skit. Like you would think
It-
they were
you know,
literally
it-
like,
it
I don't know, I
almost
didn't,
is, really.
see him. I don't know. I don't know.
NBC picked up the story, so you never know. It might end up being a skit.
Dude, if it ends up on an SNL skit, oh my God, I'm
If
gonna
you've
roll.
been on Twitter, if you have a Twitter handle, you've been on Twitter, and you were pulling up anything this week about founders, it went from, let's see, some of the memes being with founders, which I had one where I had basically Rachel Dolezal was their new PR director, to the CBS. You know, they came out the CBS bottle with no Mountie on it. So today they put a Klansman on it.
What? Oh my.
No, it was just making fun of it.
People were making fun of
So the
founders.
CBS has a Mountie.
And then
on the
people were
horse,
saying
but-
it's like KBS, it should be KBS. And they were just getting slammed all over the place. Now, here's the thing, too, is interesting because it's now gotten into a point where some of the places are cutting off founders. They're pulling them out of distribution.
Well, good.
Yeah.
That's what they should fucking be doing.
We got some bars that are just like, we're not even going to sell it. We're just drain pouring the stuff that we have. We got some other bars that aren't drain pour, but they're going to sell it at a discount and then use the money to give to charity or proceeds to something else, which is a great idea as well. But it's went from not just some of the places in Michigan cutting them off. Chicago's got places now looking to cut them off. There's other stuff happening. It got picked up not just out of Detroit Metro Times. NBC's ran a story on it. Washington Post ran a story on it. I want to say it wasn't Bloomberg, but another big one picked it up. I mean, everybody's finding out more and more. And the whole thing has been going on since October 2018. And like me and Todd and Eric were talking about, actually a little bit before October 2018, I actually, through one of the other groups I'm in, am associated and knowing the person that's actually got the suit against founders. And so I've been hearing different stuff there. But I've also known people that have went to the area and also experienced some different things that they didn't feel comfortable with being at founders, which if you got a management structure that's doing this racist type stuff, what's that going to do? Fall down to some of the employees think they can get away with it at times as well. So that's not surprising there either. Now, I've known people that have worked at founders and have been cool people and stuff like that and everything. And they're usually the ones I've known have been out in the field distribution. So I don't know what all that stuff was happening, if they were aware of all that kind of stuff, but it's really put a black cloud, right? Like black cloud over
yeah, literally, yeah.
It is going to start to cost them. And I'm wondering if there's a point where Mal San Miguel steps in because they own 90% of founders now. If they're noticing any of this, or they're paying attention to it, and kind of
I was going to say, I thought I saw something where they're trying to get out of it now.
Yeah, but where they bought it and yeah.
But they bought it a long time ago.
Did they buy it before all this shit happened?
Yeah, they bought. They had 30% when this stuff was happening, and they actually went to 90% while it was still happening.
Right.
And,
well, fuck them.
But I thought I saw something where they're trying to somewhat get out of it now. But I don't know how you're going to do that.
I mean, if they had a clause in there about responsibility or something they're supposed to do as running founders, maybe there's an escape clause in the contract. A lot of
maybe that's what maybe that's what they're seeking then.
But it was like one of those things. I put a thing on Twitter the other day, and I was like, because Mal San Miguel also owns Avery, and I put a thing to Mal San Miguel, like, please don't let founders infect Avery. I like my Avery beers. I don't need the racism being there. And so it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. And it sucks because of all the shit that happened, but because of these few dumbasses that are kind of in their management core, they're rooting for a lot of these other people out there. If you're that sales guy out there and you're trying to get contracts pulled back from you, that's your bread you're trying to make to feed your family.
Well, just think of what it might do to the Grand Rapids. Well, I'm not saying Grand Rapids, what am I trying to get at here? Like they're not the economy. What am I trying to say here?
As a community?
The community? Like
community, the revenue
people that rely on them. Yeah.
I mean, it would be I wouldn't say a big hit, but it would be a little bit of a hit to the Grand Rapids economy for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they were to fall under, or it may even be doing it now. I don't know. I haven't been over to Grand Rapids lately. So.
Well, it just goes to show you, it doesn't matter how big you are at any given point, you can be taken down pretty quickly.
Oh, fuck yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Well,
because they were one of the giants for a long time, and they were one of my favorite breweries for a long time until all this stuff happened. I honestly haven't bought any. I think I've bought one since.
Well, my brother brought some founders over, and to Todd, and he was like, "You brought it over. I don't want to be disrespectful, but
But
Like,
I've got a shit ton still down the
Well,
basement.
well, let's
you know?
fucking
Yeah.
take it out back and set it on
Some
fire
candy,
because I'm
but-
fucking pissed.
Well, we've had this conversation before because Rod was like, well, it's just kind of like Mike was going through where people burning Nikes. You already bought them
Yeah.
before that even went down. So
I mean, I had a bottle at KVS when it happened, and I was like, I didn't do a review on it. I just had drank it. But I mean, like, you already spent and bought it, but it's kind of like,
yeah.
But the people that were on the Nike side are on a different side than we are.
No, well, I know that, but
Yeah, like I'm not gonna burn
no,
my.
what I'm saying is, I bought those beers like 2 years ago before any of this ever happened. So.
My beliefs are like that wasn't my beliefs. Like the Nikes, like the people burning those. That's I don't give two shits about what they're doing. I think it's stupid, but
Well, but it's the same
you know,
kind of
I
thing,
know
so.
it's the same thing, but you know.
I've
like-
got them. I was
And
long
I get,
before that.
and now
but-
that we're on this side, I get their principles. I don't believe in their principles, but I don't want to fucking put a drop of Founders on my lips. I want
yeah.
everybody to know
that's-
they're pieces of shit.
No, that's where I'm torn because
Yeah.
I already bought them a long time before any of this went down, but I still don't. I already
Well, I
bought
think-
them though, so I got my money. So I don't know if it's any different to it or not. I don't support it one way or the other. I haven't given them any money since, but
Yeah, I couldn't enjoy it. I couldn't enjoy it drinking it.
and it was hard for me to do that because they were one of my top one
They
or
were
two
top for a
breweries.
lot
where
of
I would
people,
I'm
yeah.
sure they
seek
were
out
for a
it,
lot.
you know?
For a lot.
Yeah, for a lot of people, yeah.
I just don't know how y'all are talking about this without being so like I'm infuriated, and I don't get and like I'm not the type of person that gets pissed off about stuff. Unless it's like, you know, human rights kind of stuff. That get pissed. I get like really
but
pissed.
like, you look at like me, Todd, and Eric. I mean, when I found out about it initially, like last year, Todd and Eric, you know, us two, and like Joe, we've talked about stuff. So it's kind of like we already knew a lot of the stuff that was happening, or I was sharing with them some of the stuff that was happening. So it's kind of like for us, it's nothing like
You've already been there.
some people now that are saying they're like surprised they didn't hear anything about it. I know Billy's mentioned in the comments he didn't know anything about what was taking place. It's like for me, because I'm ingrained so much into the beer stuff, if I'm not doing beer videos, I'm reading about beer, I'm on beer websites and all that stuff. So if you're in the industry kind of and you know what's happening, you're always having this stuff fly by. So it's right out there. And I think some people didn't want to acknowledge it or didn't see it, or they try to keep it swept under. I think they were thinking they could probably get this thing pushed away. But then in March, when the federal court said, no, these parts of this lawsuit need to go forward, you can go forward in federal court. They thought they were going to get everything kicked out, and they didn't. And so now they're trying to come back and handle this other stuff, and it's going to get worse for them on the stuff that was allowed to go forward. So Chicago Times ran a big piece on it today. People, like I said, people in Chicago, some of the bars starting to get rid of it. A couple of the bars on the Facebook page that I had shown, they were starting to have like things where they're going to have like stuff where they're getting rid of it, or doing drain pours, or doing whatever they're doing to it. Some people are trying to figure out what they want to do going forward. They said they just kind of recently backed out of a festival because of this stuff taking place. I was told by other people the festival asked them not to be a part of it. They didn't want them to be a part of it with this stuff happening.
Yeah, that'd probably be more the truth.
Yeah, so this whole thing is just taken off, and they released and they had another BS statement on their website this week, which everybody called basically weak garbage that they put out there. And they're at a point now where they're starting to, I think they thought, well, maybe we would get through this, but now they're starting to realize that people are picking up, and Twitter and social media can be a beast when it wants to be a beast. And Twitter and Facebook, they've been lighting them up like crazy on stuff. So people have been going to the Facebook page, putting up memes or criticizing them there and kind of doing stuff. I'm not surprised they haven't suspended their page or something like that and everything. They came out with a bullshit excuse earlier in the year saying, well, they hired someone that's supposed to be a diversity, which nobody ever knows, nobody ever sees. So it's like, who's the person you supposedly have? It's like Teo's girlfriend. We don't know who this person is. No one's ever said that person may not be alive, might not be a real person. So they're starting to feel the brunt.
I want you to know that I totally like respect your view on this, because it's like, you know, you could just be like, fuck them, blah, blah, blah. They all should go to hell. But, you know, you're thinking about the people that work for them that aren't a part of that, and they're losing. It's not just about being unfair or being racist and assholes and dark-souled people. It's about, you know, not only are they fucking their whole company, they're fucking the people that work for them that are trying to make a living, that don't believe the same ways they do, you know?
Right.
Like, that's a very, like, open and generous
keep in mind, there's
personality.
But as a company, they were standing
right, yeah.
For the people, I mean, now, you could split it up. The people that didn't know, that weren't a part of it, is one thing. Like,
right.
Now, people that did know but didn't say anything, I look at them just as bad as the manager.
Oh, for
Right.
sure,
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah. But
those people, they can go screw themselves too. So
right, but the people out on the road that aren't there day to day, that don't know
Yeah.
this shit's happening, yeah, that are just like consultants or sales reps or whatever. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
that's
I
a
mean,
very open mind and
if you're
attitude to have.
there's a sales rep out there now. I mean, basically, my whole career has been in sales for the most part. Just think about that. You're getting stuff shut down on you. So if I'm coming out from them and I'm trying to pitch the beer to Eric's bar or Todd's bar or your bar, and all you guys say, no, we don't want to deal with you, that sales rep's having a harder time making a living for what he's trying to do.
Right, yeah, and it's not
Yeah.
his fault. It's the
Yeah.
assholes running the company.
Right. So it's kind of like there's some different aspects along those lines. And the whole thing could have been probably handled, well, it could have been handled a lot easier last year. But I think at this point, it's almost like, what do you do? And see, I'm a little older than you guys, but it's like for me, this reminds me like when I was a kid, like back in the late 70s, early 80s, Denny's had a whole thing where Denny's got caught up in a racial discrimination type stuff. And they were bigger. I mean, they were a chain, but they were national, like Founders is national. And they pretty much got slammed all the way down to the ground, and they had to come out and do a whole bunch of different programs, and like the federal government was involved. And it's kind of like all these years later, people are still making these stupid mistakes. And to me, I say part of that problem is, again, you have people that are running these breweries in craft beer world that still have, I don't want to, like a fraternity mentality. It's kind of like you're doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing if you're trying to really run a business.
Frat boy.
It's more like, and so things that you thought might have been funny a few years ago aren't as funny as they are now. But you're not realizing that, you're not maturing, you're not adapting to that and becoming older and realizing that stuff. So it's almost like until you get more people, diversity in there, more Black people, more women, more Latino,
that are with using their voice, speaking against stuff like this.
Like someone's going to sit in that room and say, that's a bad idea. You shouldn't do that. And this is why.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say anything about it.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you have to get the right people in there for everything that's changing. And some of these companies can get caught up into it. And it's kind of like that whole deposition is the whole thing of that mentality.
Fucking
you read the deposition, it's like
they could have.
I don't know.
Yeah. And the easy thing is, the founders could have easily just come out and been like, "All right, dude, you're fired.
We're sorry this happened.
Made a public statement.
Right.
And
we
like,
don't agree with this.
Yeah, we're not. This isn't how we operate.
We condemn the things he said. Yes.
And they never did that at one time, ever come out and did anything like that. And that's the problem.
That's what's almost burying them right now. Well,
that's what's burying them for sure.
We're gonna have to see how big the fallout's even gonna be, because right now it's just starting. Because like Rob said, ABC News, the Chicago Tribune's picked up on it, the Washington Post picked up on it,
NBC News, yeah.
Honestly, at this point, I hate to see a lot of people would lose jobs, but I think it would be awesome. I'd say awesome. It would be kind of great to see him close the doors and it would be done.
Like, why would you want to work for a place? Lose my job, fine.
Yeah, but
I fucking quit.
But think about this, like,
but a lot of people didn't have anything to do.
Here's
with
the thing,
it,
like Eric brought up the point, and there's really a good comment on when I did the video a few days ago. If you go back and you look at the comments, there was one of the people replied and said he was actually in Grand Rapids and kind of gave a breakdown of it. And he talked about that area having and I don't know, Eric, because I was waiting for you because you're from Michigan. I don't know how much you've been there, but he's saying there is some kind of racist issues, stuff like that through that area or whatever. But if you're in a town like that and say that's the best job you can find, you might be more adapt to let something go. Not saying it's right, of course, but saying that's the only thing you might be able to work in to survive for your family. I don't know what the Grand Rapids scene is, if it's hard to find other work at other places or not, but some people hang in for some reasons that you don't know why they're hanging in there, but they are,
you gotta feed family and have.
I mean, I see that.
That can make.
And it's easier for me to say that because I come from a 2-income family, and like he's basically the breadwinner. So if I was working for a company like that, I'd be like, "Fuck y'all, I'm out." I'm gonna go work at McDonald's. Mm-hmm. But if it was the breadwinner of the family, and it was like, if I quit my job, I might not be able to find somebody. They're kind of trapped. I get what you're saying, but I'd rather live in a fucking hellhole than, no.
Well, if you still really...
Then my husband worked for somebody that had those beliefs and those actions, and no, I'd have a hard time. I would have a hard time him coming home and me looking at him the same way if he was okay working for somebody like that.
Well, and if they really still want to be, if they were looking for a job and they still want to be in the brewery, the craft beer industry, you got Perrin, New Holland, Saugatuck. You've got Bell's, which is in Kalamazoo. You got Territorial in Grand Rapids. You've got Ellison. You have Old Nation. I mean, it's
well. The problem you have
endless.
though is there are breweries there, but they're smaller breweries.
They are smaller. They are.
Can they
Yeah.
absorb to pick up other people, right? So
Right.
If I can go work for something that's not a brewery and then work your way into
A
another brewery.
distribution center, or
Yes. There's
I'll
no
go work for a
excuse in my
distribution
mind to
center.
work for people like that.
yeah. I mean, if
No,
there's other
there's
opportunities,
not,
they're
but-
there. I'm just saying, if it's something where they can't get another opportunity, that might be why they're trapped in there as well. And
Well, that's what I was gonna say. At the same time, you can't until you walk a mile in their shoes.
You're
don't
right,
know.
but I don't
I know what you're saying. I agree
yes,
with it.
and
But
I know you do. I know
it's
you
putting
do.
food on the table for your
It
family
is,
one
it
thing,
is.
and
And
maybe they're pieces of shit, and they probably agree with it. But
well,
in the
I don't,
end, you got to provide. You know what I'm saying?
maybe I'm
That's what it
naive.
is.
Maybe I'm naive when it comes to this stuff.
I don't
Well,
know what
Cody-
I don't know what the.
I
don't know
don't
what the
think
work
most
area
people
in
believe
Grand
that
Rapids
way.
is.
I
Well,
don't
don't
think most.
either.
I think most people, and like I said, I know I've got to be naive because I mean, look where we're at right now. Look at our country. Look where we're at. Okay, so maybe I'm naive that thinking
Right.
people have common sense and they want to take care of other human beings. Like
Yeah.
that's at my soul. That I just want people
well,
to be
keep in
taken
mind,
care of.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a humanist. I'm not a I'm not a Democrat. When it comes down to it, I just want to take care of people. I don't think people should, people should look at people's souls, and that's it. Nothing else should matter.
I agree.
Cody and Alan are kind of exactly right here. Cody kind of says Grand Rapids is loaded with breweries. Basically, the whole state is. And then Alan, I think Cody also says there's going to be a lot of damaged reputations because of this, and he's exactly right.
Yeah.
Oh, there's already damage has already been done.
Yeah.
Oh, the damage has already been done for sure.
And I'm not sure they can come back from this, and probably San Marzano is probably going, what the, fuck. We just bought all this company, and it's probably going to go under.
Oh, I bet you they're probably.
I mean, people's
right
pull,
Todd to probably tell them
out.
what the hell's going on over here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people's already, boycotting them, and for a long time, and we've not bought them, and I'm sure it goes beyond. I'm sure there's been a lot of people that's not bought.
Oh yeah.
I guess how fucking stupid do you have to be? I don't know, how is Michael Jordan black? How fucking stupid do you have to be? Really? And I'm not trying to be.
I might be.
How fucking stupid do you have to be?
Yeah. Well, he's trying to be cute, probably.
Well,
it's not funny. Funny.
It's his representation.
It was probably one of those deals where they said go in and deny everything and don't do anything to get us any more trouble.
It's
He'd have been better off just going in and going, I plead the fifth. I'm not saying.
Attorney.
Yeah, I'm not saying.
If he would have said that,
I'm not saying anything.
Instead of trying to be funny,
don't make some idiotic comments about
Well, the part of it too, when you look at the deposition, and then it was like him and Tracy used to be friends a little bit before he got the job there, before he was working there. So you guys are friends, so I'm pretty much sure you knew he was black when you guys were friends ahead of time.
Right.
No, he didn't know.
Yeah.
He didn't know he was black.
Yeah.
No. He didn't know. He didn't know his DNA.
I've never seen your DNA, so I don't know if you're really black.
Are you though? I don't think he is.
Maybe you've got really good suntan. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
I mean, he's sitting there like, he might be, but he talks in a Chinese accent, I think, sometimes. Like, who do you like?
Yeah, we're not real
Like,
sure.
seriously.
We're not
Yeah.
real sure.
And
No.
that's kind of the world we're in now with, this ludicrous type feel out there on stuff as, things happen. I'm not getting into the political thing, but the climate has definitely changed with who we have there as president now, I think. And that's kind of, when you look at some of the companies taking place, you see different liberties taken now that you're like, really? You're doing that now? Are we back in 1950 or something? So, and that's just not looking at the political side. That's just looking at the fact you're seeing more and more occurrences pop up now on different things happening. So it's kind of interesting on the whole thing there. Cody had mentioned, let me go back here. He said, do you think if there was a new GM, they could redeem themselves?
Nope.
No.
No, the name is
There's
tainted.
always going to be that stigma of that.
There'll be a stigma.
Tainted.
But again, I'm going to go back and I'm just going to use like the Denny's example. So after years and years and years, because Denny's ended up getting involved in all kinds of programs, doing all kinds of stuff. They got rid of certain management like that. you wouldn't go into Denny's now and maybe think of how it was in their past back then. They had to come
Like
over
how
that.
long ago was this, Rod?
This was like late
Oh, and-
70s, early 80s, but it took
okay.
it took about 15 or 20 years to recover from that before people would start, going back again. But
being how volatile craft beer is,
with craft beer and the way the craft beer drinkers are, and the more inclusive feel of craft beer drinkers that you have now, when you look at stuff out there, it's hard for them to, if they get slammed enough for them to actually look to rebound as much, because with craft beer, it is kind of that inclusive type community for a good amount of stuff that, you get a bad name out there. You're kind of like, look at that guy that we talked about it last year. There was a guy in San Diego who did some stupid shit. He got slammed and he ended up having to close the brewery down like within a month because he got slammed so hard by social media and the people what he had done. Founders is bigger than that because they got the big dollars behind them. But yeah, they can definitely feel that effect there. Now, once you start having like companies like bars and these places that are like, say, we're not going to take your distribution, that's one thing. Like, we're cutting you off from distribution. Maybe they'll reevaluate later on down the line, whatever it may be. But when they're saying they're just going to pour the beer out and not even take the profits on it, you got an issue.
Yeah, that's big.
They're not even going to make money off your stuff. They're going to take a loss and deal with it.
Yeah.
But back in the 70s, early 80s, like the climate of racism was a lot worse than, like, people are more enlightened now.
Actually, I don't think it was.
You don't?
I think it was actually more open. Think of what we had back then. We had shows like All in the Family. You had Good Times.
Jeffersons.
You had Mauled. You had the Jeffersons. People were being more exposed to stuff, and those shows would touch on stuff. Even there was an old episode I was watching the other day.
Yeah, but some of those were really racist and stereotyped.
No, but it was touching on different things for a point to try to also bring out the story about that to get people away from it. So, you'd have All in the Family that you could look at and say, Archie was a bigot, which he was, but at the same point, the way the stories were being told, like they were trying to pull him away from being a bigot, and they was trying to do other stuff, interjecting other people into that. And so the openness of it back then was totally different. There was an old episode of Family Matters I watched the other day on YouTube or Facebook. It was like that clip when Carl's son got stopped by the police, and they pretty much shook him down, just like you're seeing the police stuff nowadays.
Right. That
was like on a syndicated show Friday night, like at 8:00 prime time. And people learn about what police were doing back then. You don't see that on TV as much now.
Well,
you hear about it the news stories, unless you're looking at something like AMC or HBO or one of these other cable channels.
Right.
But you don't see it as much detail, even though you see some things like maybe like on the SVU or something like that. It's not as gritty as what the shows were like in the 80s.
When you get
stuff. And your perspective is like much more like, I said that, but I'm not the one living it. So like, if you say that, I believe it, because like you have your view out into it's a lot more realistic than mine. So
I find now what you get in the network shows is they're more walking the line. They don't want to offend one side or the other either way. Like they just want to find a happy medium and be whatever. Like back then, Jefferson's, Good Time, whatever, All in the Family,
but I never looked at it
Sanford
the way you just said it.
No, but
yeah, and
they didn't care, and it was kind of like what I was saying. It was drawn.
They were bringing light to the subject then, and now they're just
kind of avoided it in a sense, and it's just like we're not gonna draw. We're drawing a line, but we're just gonna walk down, and we're not gonna fall on the left or the right.
So basically, now we're acting like it doesn't exist, but back then we were at least trying to address it.
Right.
People were addressing it back then.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, people were definitely more. I mean,
it was just starting back in the 80s there with all those shows coming out. They were starting to, like Ron said, it was shedding light on it. They were, this stuff really, really happens and goes on.
Yeah. I mean, there were episodes on Different Strokes or Facts of Life that would touch on real shit. And you were like, man, that was kind of serious. I thought it was a comedy, but it really would hit on a point on stuff, and it was kind of like.
Yeah, because I remember an episode you brought up Different Strokes. I remember an episode when Kimberly was dating a white guy, and he found out that her brothers were black, Arnold and Willis.
Yeah, I remember that.
So they were going to like a Halloween party or something, and so she was dressed up, and she ended up painting herself as a black character, black.
Yeah.
And he didn't have, he was basically a bigot and didn't have nothing to do with her because of that. And it was like a whole, racism brought to light or whatever on that thing. I was like, that just kind of reminded me of that. I don't know. I'm just saying.
But there was an old Jefferson's episode, and it was they were actually like at a business meeting or something like that, and there was an old white guy who actually went into some type of heart attack or something like that, right? And George knew CPR. And so Louise like, we need to save him or whatever. But George knew this guy was like a bigot or whatever. And he was like, why should I get involved, blah, blah. And so basically, you know, his moral sense got to him. So he went in, he like gave him mouth to mouth, and resuscitating the guy. They brought him back or whatever. And then he looked over and he said, what happened? He's like, you had a heart attack. He said, but, you know, Mr. Jefferson saved you or whatever like that and everything. He looked over at him and he told his son,
you touched me?
No, he told his son, you should have let me die.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the crowd was there, like, and then it was kind of like they wheeled him out to the ambulance or whatever like that and everything. And then the son, who had been following his dad's stuff, kind of turned around to him and said, you know, I'm sorry, I don't know what to say after that. I'm glad you saved my dad, and I apologize for how he acted. And it was like, so at that moment, it was kind of like, you might not change that one, but you may change another person. So they would have those kind of things back then, but you don't see a lot of that stuff now.
The Jeffersons was the first one to ever have an interracial couple on air.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That was Lenny Kravitz.
I want to ask Rod a question.
That was Lenny Kravitz's mom, by the way.
Okay, so I asked, Todd's got a really good friend, and he's a black guy, and I asked him this question. And I thought that was only Todd's only black friend. No, you're not. No. No.
Now you're cheating on me.
So I asked him this question. Okay.
Sorry,
So, you know, whether y'all believe I'm a mother, I know it's hard to believe because I'm such a shit show, but I do have a daughter. And I asked him, I was like, you know, I don't want my daughter to ever be racist. I just want her to look at people as humans. You know, I'm like, and I have a hard time knowing what to do about like teaching her about like the culture of black people. I'm like, do I teach her where they came from? Do I make her know what they've been through? Or do I just not do anything and just be like, never even bring it up and be a subject? Because, you know, why should it be a subject? Because we're all the same, you know? Okay, so what's your answer to that? And then I'll tell you what his answer was.
Well, I mean, it's your call as a parent how you want to do it. It's kind of like if you have a kid.
I know. Yeah.
I know, but let me finish, Shannon.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's kind of like, you know, for how you raise your kid is how you raise your. It's kind of like, though, if I had a kid, I wouldn't want them to be like sheltered or anything like that. So when you, in a different type of way, when you have children and they're raised, and I don't know if it's with all groups, but for instance, I'll just use the perception of when you raise black children in America, you do have a talk with them about how things kind of are. You do talk about some of those things. I think all families should have a talk like that with their kids and kind of, if you're a parent, you should be involved in your kid's life and kind of going through stuff and talking about things. And when things happen, it's kind of like I talked about watching Watchmen earlier. Well, Watchmen, everybody was talking this week about it. It started out with the Tulsa riots that happened back in the 1920s, and right after basically World War I almost. And people didn't know all about the Tulsa riot. And it wasn't even a riot, it was really a Tulsa massacre. So Tulsa, Oklahoma used to be where a lot of black people ended up going to and building a business. It used to be called Black Wall Street. And so all the black people had business. There was like hotels, there were airlines, there was all kinds of stuff. And then it led to one person, a white woman, that claimed that she had been attacked by a black guy or whatever. And it started this attack onto Tulsa where they were firebombed. They were literally bombing people from airplanes and stuff like that and kind of burnt down the whole thing. Those kind of things, even though they're black history, they're American history. And there's like things where people know more about what's all involved, what's going on. I think everybody grows a little bit better knowing each other, knowing different things. That's why like a lot of people that aren't white don't like the phrase, I don't see color, which people try to say it thinking that's kind of a good thing, but really it's not. It's the opposite of that, because when you're saying you don't see color, you don't see that other person's history, the other person's heritage, the background of things they may have been involved in, and realize that they're from a different world than you may be from. So to not see that's why some people also like talk about like some of the bias that you have in some of the tests, like IQ tests, because not everybody's brought up in the same type of homes and stuff. So you take these tests, some people may not know what certain things are or whatever. And
that's like with her, I want her to know the struggle of them, but I don't want her to look at you guys any different either.
Yeah. Well, it's
so I have a hard time knowing what to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of just being involved in teaching, and it's not saying this is the Black experience or the Latino or the white or the Native
Right,
American or
yeah.
whatever. It's kind of just having those type of things around the history that takes place, just sharing those kind of stories. Tanya Mikowski, who Eric and Todd know, she does beer reviews, stuff like that, and everything. So every year, like Martin Luther King could come out, and everybody always does. I have the dream speech. You always see that everywhere, right? So
Yes.
I have another page where I put like more political type stuff out there on Facebook, and I always put out there the letter from Birmingham jail. And so she had saw that one year, and she was really didn't know about it. Was really intrigued by it, and her son, I think, Landon at the time maybe like 11 or 10, and she actually got it. And it was like narrated by James Earl Jones, and she actually narrated it with James Earl Jones, had her son sit down, and he went through and they talked about and all that kind of stuff. And she tries to just get him more involved in different things, just to get more of a world aspect of stuff.
Right.
So,
we went and saw, me and my best friend went and saw a movie the other day, and there was a preview. There's like a whole TV or movie coming out about Harriet Tubman. And I told her, I'm like, I'm taking Kylie to see that. Like, I was about to cry during the preview, I was just like, this is just, it was so inspiring, and just the preview. I can't even imagine the movie. And I want her to feel that stuff. I want her to know that stuff, and it's a fine line, because my parents weren't like that, and it's a fine line to where she'll do better than me. Like, I'm doing better than my parents. She'll do better than me. She'll know better what to do. She'll learn from what I didn't do right, and blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
But I just want her to be passionate about being a good person, being, just look at people's hearts. That's all that matters. You know?
I mean, it really does.
Be human.
Be a human.
Exactly,
Yes, just
right?
be human. Just be human. And don't be.
We're all in the fight together.
Right. Don't just do what people tell you to do and blindly do it. Just have a brain and a heart and use them together.
Yeah. I mean, communication is always the key. It's kind of like, you go somewhere. It's funny, like you go to some places and stuff, and sometimes you go to like, I'll use like a company, even like a company room, because it gets ingrained at some point as we grow up from children moving up. Like you go to school and you'll see like people separated out by who they are. Like you might see, Black people one table, Latino, and it's like intertwined. It's like that's one of the best scenes of Remember the Titans, when he tells all the kids get off the bus and he puts them all together, and because that opens up more of that fostering of communication and learning about each other. You learn you have a lot more in common than you probably even knew you had in common. So,
absolutely,
that's one of my favorite movies, and for that reason, because you think about it in the 60s, right, when that was, or 70s when that was taking place.
Yeah.
And it was like, for him to, to base on a true story, for him to actually do those things at that time is like, it's remarkable, really. Like, why hasn't that been brought to light more? I mean, it's phenomenal. It's a phenomenal story.
Well, especially the scene where the kid was spending the night over at the parents' house, and the brick got thrown through the picture window there. And then the guy came over and said, "Hey, what's going on?" And he said, "Now your daughter gets a taste of what we go through."
Yeah. It's like reality just hit.
The world is just such a sad place, and
it really is.
It really is.
It's gotten better, but
I'm not
like
I feel like I'm being a sad person right now, but I'm not a sad person. I'm just like, and even I have so many people in my life that don't feel or believe the things that I do, but I don't block them out. I'm like, I want to hear why you believe this. I want to, like, you're not going to change my mind, and I'm not going to change your mind, but I'd like an explanation. I just want to know why you think the way you think. I'm not going to argue with you, because I'm not going to change your mind. You're not going to change my mind. Like my brother, he's a big Republican, Me and my dad are big Democrats, and it's just like my dad gets so pissed off at my brother. Like so pissed off.
He used to be.
No.
Until Trump.
Oh yeah. But it was just like, and I'm just like, Dad, we can't change it. What's done is done. It is what it is. But I'm like, and all of his friends come over. My brother warns him, she's a big Democrat, don't argue with. I'm like, I'm not going to argue with them. And they'll start telling me why they believe they do. And I'm like, okay, I'm just curious why you are where you're at,
Believe it or not, there's times in our country when Republicans and Democrats talk to each other, and politics and
actually
Yeah.
talk to each other
and not stand around like
compromise
little babies back and forth.
Right. And I'm fine. I can
Few and
talk.
far between.
I can talk to anybody. Unless you just get really stupid. Like if you get really stupid, I still won't argue with you. I might walk away, but I'm not going to argue with you. Like you can't argue with stupid. You know, it's just like, all right, buddy.
Well, it's one belief to the other, so I mean, you're never going to change.
Yeah, but
that too
there's
much.
ignorance. There's ignorance.
There's ignorance on both sides as far as that goes. But
they're both sides have their
you're
issues.
not gonna. If somebody believes, and they're not open to any change. It doesn't matter what you say.
Right.
Don't get riled up again.
But Billy was asking about.
No, I think a lot of people.
What was he asking?
And I was like, Billy was asking, what about founders? And there's a lot out there now. I mean, if you go out there and just search founders, or I know we've talked about it on and off during the last year or so, but I mean, it's out there everywhere.
So, Rod, if well, I'm going to ask you this before I forget again. If, say, they come out and did their apologies and blah, 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 whatever, and tried to save face and maybe some changes have been made or whatever, would that ever change your mind as far as founders again? Is there anything that they could do that would make you?
They couldn't do anything they couldn't do anything with me with the current management staff they have there. They have to terminate all their management staff.
Well, I'm saying, say they did that and got rid of.
They'd have to be taken over on the management staff. It'd be interesting to see, what some of the employees were that were there as well, because obviously some employees went along with it. At this point, you're looking at, I would expect for them to put some type of financial aspect out there into one of the groups or something, or put some money out there as far as reciprocating back to the community, helping, whatever kind of big brother, sister type group, whatever it may be. It'd have to be something they'd have to do. Because at this point, they're past kind of the apology stage. I mean, no one's going to give them a hug or anything like that. They're going to start writing some checks at this point, which means they may have to go to Mail and San Miguel and ask for a check from Big Daddy. Like, hey, can you give us a check to try to get out of this?
Yeah. Show me, don't tell me.
Yeah. They've got actions they got to make. And they got to bring.
They could have put this arrest a long time ago, and it's kind of sad it's taking a year for it to really. It's kind of sad that it's taken almost a full year to come to light.
I thought this ship had set sail.
We're not even close to the end, because the trial date isn't October 2020. So we got another whole year of this just going to be hitting founders.
And to me, that whole interview that they just released of that was
just a clip of that part right there.
That was just
that was enough that it just sinks them. I think there's like, how do you recover from that?
Yeah, and it's dumbfounding in that when you talk about not just the deposition, but the other stuff mentioned in the piece about the printers and the stuff being around. When you've seen so many companies getting slammed for that over the last year, whether in beer or outside beer, just the stuff, that type of attitude in the workplace, and it's like you're doing all this stuff out there, and it's kind of like, you'd have been better off just shutting the fuck up and apologizing way back when and writing a check out for something and moving on. And now everything's getting exposed.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing, because it should be exposed in that regard for the people tuning in.
Alan, you're probably right.
And I know Alan, I was going to say, he said he thought it may be a case of too little too late, and so egregious with their attitude, which I agree.
Yeah.
And then Cody he'd asked you guys too if you thought they'd ever be able to redeem themselves as well.
I don't even think I pulled what management. I don't even either.
Billy's a founder to review what the fuck.
The thing is, though, the sad thing is there's probably enough people out there that probably don't give a shit about it, and they're gonna keep.
Yeah, some are.
Do you think though?
I think it has at this point. I think it has.
No, I mean one of the guys.
Now that it's blowing up more, I don't know.
Maybe this is my naivety or whatever you call it kicking in. I'm just like.
No, there have been people that have said, they went out there and said, well, they have no problem getting founders now because they usually sell out of stuff, but now they'll be on shelves more. There's people that will still go.
But that
I'd like to slit their throats.
But enough in that regard, they killed themselves. But anyway, that shit was sitting around anyhow.
I mean, one of my subscribers, he commented on the video when I had done it, and it wasn't anything. He said, the one thing about this is, you do have to the right to spend your dollars where you want, to spend your dollars, which is true, And I responded to him, and I said, "You definitely do that." I said, "I prefer my beer without racism management." So people
might
are
make
going
you
to
a
make
big
their choices and
asshole.
stuff.
Yeah, it might make you a big racist asshole or you spend your money, but spend it where you want to.
Yeah. So so that's the whole thing with capitalism, right? So
and how many people
the market will set it out, and the market's starting to settle it out.
Well, how many people are still oblivious and don't know what's going on yet, even after that?
Well, Billy in the comments said he didn't know what was going on with Founders.
Yeah, I was gonna say I bet a bunch because really
Billy
up until
Billy
this
does beer videos.
Well, that's
because really up until this week I knew stuff was going on because we talked about it a lot, but I didn't really know a lot of the details.
And there was a lot of stuff that couldn't be said before until
that was right exactly
until they were getting to the lawyers. Because I remember telling like you guys in our messaging like there's other stuff happening because I was privy to other stuff, but nothing can really be out there yet until they get passed. But I said there's more coming down the pipe
litigation
because the judge is now allowed this to go forward. There's a guy in New York on my Twitter account. I can't remember what it is, but he's like a craft beer lawyer. And he's been noting everything out of the case and been up there talking about this, and kind of bullet pointing stuff out there. And he was just talking about how it's not going to get easier for them. It's going to get a lot harder. So
so really probably this week is kind of the tip of the iceberg for him, and it's just going to get worse from here because it's come more to the forefront.
Yeah.
As where, as far as more of the details is coming out now a little bit with that interview and whatever. I mean, to me, that's just enough. Like, how stupid can you be?
But we had a younger couple friends. Remember, we were at Floyd, and Blake was like, "I went to Founders, and it's so fucking nice, and it was just so awesome." And then we let him in on the whole thing, and he was like, "Oh, I never even knew about all that." And this was before like all this big shit happened here.
Yeah.
It was like the first time a while back. He's like, "Oh, I didn't even know about all that," And he felt a little bit different about it after we told him. Remember that, Blake? Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's like
a lot of people don't know.
It's like some people were saying before. Well, a lot of companies will actually do that. That's like, well, I don't think you're going to see a lot of companies doing what Founders actually have done.
Yeah,
and because I knew when more would come out, it'd be kind of like more eye opening for a lot of people to see the stuff they were seeing. Like, no, that's just not cool. And that's what I expected from most of the beer community to kind of have that about that not being a cool thing, because like I said, I've always had good experiences around beer and in the craft beer community and the connections that I've made and people I've met over the years and stuff. So it's kind of like
me too.
Yeah. And so
it's more the norm. It's more the norm that way.
Yeah.
Than the other way. And that's the thing that really is disheartening, because Founders could have easily nipped it in the bud with maybe that guy's just a sour. Maybe as an organization, let's just say they're not that way. It's just this one guy. But as an organization, because they didn't come to the forefront and nip it in the bud right away and take the right actions, you automatically assume that, okay, Founders in general is this way. I mean, how else can you take it?
Right.
You don't come to the forefront and make it right instantly. You know what I mean? Like, they could have easily killed us back this time last year.
Yeah, yeah.
And made it right and been like, look, this happened. Okay, we admit this happened. This guy was wrong. We don't condone anything that he did.
Yeah.
He no longer is employed here. We've moved on from this. We blah blah blah.
Well, the whole thing
and just made it right.
The whole thing too. Anybody that's in the corporate world knows, like, it's actually hard to actually fire a person without having a paper record behind stuff.
Right.
So if he's been going back and complaining to HR about this for a period of time, they've got the stuff there on that. So what Founders have to say why he doesn't have anything there? If they don't have anything there, you just can't. You're saying, well,
that's true.
So it's kind of like, and Michigan is weird because Michigan is that I was saying they're weird. They're one of the states that's a right to work state, so they can fire for any reason. So
they
you don't really,
Indiana too.
Yeah. So you don't know what they may have actually had there, if anything. But what he should have everything that was noted to him to HR will be on record. So.
But after all this comes out, would anybody actually believe if he had anything to say other than, I mean, like,
I think the case
maybe they had it.
Case they rest after this deposition.
Yeah, and after, I mean, hard saying a year ago. What was he saying then? It's like,
yeah.
Is this guy still working for him? Is he still?
No, he's not there. No, because I mean, after that, they terminated him and stuff.
Oh,
but,
okay.
All that stuff was happening. Alan has said all day IPAs and IPA. I'd rather have the New Belgium Day Blazer. What's New Belgium Day Blazer?
Is a Day Blazer is good.
Too. Yeah,
I haven't had that. I like the Lagunitas that you're drinking.
I've never been so pissed off on one of these shows, Rod. So I'm just saying.
It happens once in a while. We cover all kinds of stuff, Shannon.
I don't get pissed. I'm not a very pissed off person.
It's not all laughs, ha ha, he he all the time. So that's serious.
I don't get pissed off very often. Like I get pissed off maybe once a month, if that.
It's better to be pissed off than to be pissed on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Very true.
Being pissed off's kind of. I hate being pissed off.
Especially
when you're like me and you're like, oh, what am I gonna do?
She's
being
too
pissed
fired
off,
up, Eric.
I know she is. She's like, fuck you, Eric.
I ain't listening to you. I'm just.
She ran Eric's joke right over. Like I ain't listening to that right now.
No.
But even like in our group, like the Beer Coalition that we have on Facebook, or something, it's like there's people that didn't respond. Like they didn't know that was even taking place and all of that. So. They were saying they were surprised by it. And then Craft Beer shows that my daily IPA is the Sierra Nevada Torpedo.
Mine is going to be M43.
Yeah. For your daily. I'm saying I got these. I like these for like a nice daily going and chug a lug. That works well.
Those are good.
And then Alan, I said to Billy, probably won't be long before it's in the financial news. This has been more of a craft beer industry, not so secret scandal that's just now bubbling over. Yeah, so the NBC article was written yesterday. The Washington Post was like the day before. Today is when the Chicago Tribune piece came out. There was another one that came out as well earlier in the week. And then you got all the other stuff like the Detroit Metro News and stuff around Michigan that have done stuff. There's pieces out there now from beers being dropped by companies, like I mentioned. I even had one of the breweries that kind of made a little crackback on their little Twitter thing against founders and stuff too, and how they were doing. No, it was one of the beer stores. Who is it? Let me take a look here real quick.
But and the sad thing is now it's coming to the forefront. And they swept it under the rug all this time, and now they have to deal with it. Right. They're facing possibility of a sinking ship. I mean, it may just close down.
I thought I seen something on Reddit about it too, and I'm looking right now.
If you get to the point where people are pouring a beer just so they're not selling founders, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I guarantee it's on Reddit.
See, I was mad, and now I'm sad, and I'll probably be sad for like 2 days now.
Yeah. Don't be sad, Shannon.
Yeah, don't be shad. Don't be shad. Don't be sad, Shannon.
The drunk
try not to think the world's so horrible, but it is horrible. It's so horrible.
The drunk uncle in West Allis, Wisconsin, their protest, they're getting rid of their beers for founders. New bars and stores in Chicago reconsider relationship and looking to get rid of theirs.
Kudos to those people for doing that.
Yeah.
But this is just beer, like
it is. But
I know that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking this is horrible. This is just beer. The bigger problem is beyond beer.
Well, that's why that's how you make your stand.
And that's what's so disturbing. It's not just beer. It's the world.
The world is a vampire.
Worse than a vampire.
Eastern Market Brewing Company. They're on Twitter. They actually had commented too about the founders thing, and they're not hiring them anymore. And then near where Eric is, that liquor store, Spirit's Liquor, I think it's near Michigan State. They're pulling founders, I know, which is huge. Well, you're pulling it from a college campus store, pretty much.
Yeah.
But who are we going after founders? Because there's bigger problems. Who are we going after that?
We're not going after anybody.
No, we need to go after other people. Because founders is a beer.
Easy there, Wide Earp. Come on, we're just starting out here.
Easy, Wide Earp.
No, we need...
From Tombstone. You tell them
this is beer. We need to go beyond beer.
And I'm bringing hell with me.
No, we need to go past this. Where are we going next?
We're still talking about founders. Let's talk about founders for here. So I'm trying to get the comments.
Founders is a minnow. We need the catfish.
Cody has said the torpedo is amazing, which it is. In my opinion, any local brewery can produce anything. The so-called top brands can. If a home brew clone, then a brewery definitely can. Yeah, definitely. So that's one of their other options. Like Eric rattled off so many other options that were there around them too. Yeah. So there's different things they can definitely hit.
We got a local brewery come out with a breakfast stout around the last Thanksgiving that kills founders in my
How do you
opinion.
spell corrupt?
CORRUPT.
C-O.
Not DJ corrupt. That's different spelling, but regular corrupt.
that's with a K, isn't it?
Yeah.
Shit.
Let me see. Alan said backwards there are breweries around like Westbrook, Edmonds, Oast, and others that I enjoy much better than the big brands. Yeah, definitely. And agree, support local first. Agree, definitely. And he said, Roger, I was thinking, I think it was being overlooked by the craft beer community and pubs in general due to the quality of beer. I know they had a discrimination suit, but the stuff with the GM, I'm done. Yeah. So more of that came out. And there were some people that were still taking it in because they, at one point, it was the money was coming in, and then it was kind of like a hearsay, he say, she say, or hearsay type thing. So as more of the stuff's coming out, where it is kind of backed up, because there is another person that was involved that they had in the pieces I was reading that could basically back up everything Tracy was saying. So he was pretty much agreeing that this stuff was taking place there. That's what's also hurts him too. Twitter can undo a company, and Twitter on every post is full before hate towards them. And every post is full bore hate towards them. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. If you're on Twitter right now and you pull up founders on Twitter, you got all kinds of stuff happening.
Oh, there's like 331 comments on the on Reddit about it.
Yeah.
Should we start? Hey, should we start with number 13 or number 1?
Of
what?
The most corrupt? No, number 20 or number 1 of the most corrupt companies in the United States.
Well, no, we're doing founders
Who are
right
we
now.
taking down first? Number 20 or number 1?
She's been looking it up online to see.
Weinstein's number 20.
Weinstein's in jail, almost, right?
I hope he needs to fucking be.
Or maybe he's not in jail yet. He's still getting tried. That was the other guy that killed himself. That went.
He's a rich white man. He ain't in jail.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Epstein was rich and he went to jail.
Well, he's fucking dead, like he should be.
And NFL's number 3.
Shannon's on a different. Oh, NFL. NFL's got issues. That's why I don't watch them.
Yeah, they're number 3.
Equifax is number 1. Fox Entertainment, fuck yeah, number 2.
Equifax screws everybody.
And NFL's number 3. University of Phoenix, number 4.
Yeah, they're pretty bad. They're paid for college. They've been screwing people.
Ooh,
Electronic Arts
Sports.
Oh, there's
Foxconn.
Everyone's bitching about EA, especially
they were
Sprint's number 7.
Oh, like
Vice Media. Spirit Airlines. I never even heard of them.
Yeah, they fly out of here. They're cheap.
Cigna, fuck yeah, insurance, health insurance, of course, they're fucking crooked. Wells Fargo, yeah, sounds about right. Oh, number 12, the Trump Organization. No, could not be right.
Shocker.
This is a misprint. I'm gonna tweet about this.
That site's taken down immediately.
Yes.
Oh, so
Sears Holding, Uber.
Their drivers get screwed on stuff and their employees.
Comcast. That sounds right.
You're making my stomach hurt, Shannon.
Montecito. Yeah, they're fucked, aren't they? They're the one that.
GMO.
Yeah, they do all the GMO shit, right?
Yeah.
CenturyLink, don't know them. Facebook, duh. United Airlines.
Well, yeah.
That's
no
American
Weinstein
Airlines,
Company. Yeah, they're all.
Yeah, where's
fucked.
American Airlines?
Yeah, they're not
terrible.
crooked. They're just incompetent.
They're just terrible.
They're just incompetent.
Before you move on, Rod, Alan kind of says down towards the bottom of the comments, he goes, Founders is catching the same type of hate that Angry Orchard did because of the engagement company that was profiled by the security guard, which I'm surprised that they didn't learn from Angry Orchard about what not to do and to rectify the situation way back then.
Yeah, but Angry Orchard kind of skated around their issue. Theirs was more of an employee issue than a management issue, because those were like just some employees that were dumbasses doing what they were doing. And they said they were reassigned. No one knows if they were fired or not, because they said they were reassigned. Yeah, so but they should have been writing a check too. They should have paid for that couple's wedding, in my opinion. They should have paid for that shit. I would never.
I remember that was the dumbest shit ever.
I never liked Angry Orchard. I go to Blake's Hard Cider if I want a cider out of Michigan.
Or go to Cider Boys.
Yeah.
Or Cider Boys too is good.
I
Yeah.
hate this world. I hate this
Are
world.
they Michigan also? Eric, do you know?
I don't know if they are or not. Cider
Do
Boys,
you
I
know,
don't know if
Rod?
they are.
The Cider Boys?
I don't know if they're in Michigan or not.
Where
But
is
Bill-
it? Like,
Hold on, let me get some of the
Norway or
comments.
Sweden? That's where we need to go. It's like Finland. We need to go to
Shannon,
Finland. What?
Trying to get some more.
What?
Trying to get some more of the comments in. We got people
All
that
right.
are commenting too.
Hey, Shannon.
Hey, Eric.
Billy said typically the festivals pay for
I love
the
you
beer
too, Shannon.
board, so they most likely asked not to come. Yeah, I think the festivals from the side I heard asked them to not come, but they released it like they kind of are not going to go themselves. But Craft Beer Corner, they had a beer called Fountain Drink that is phenomenal. And then same with Enchantment Under the Sun by them. So I used to like their it was one of their IPAs. I can't remember what one of their dark IPAs, but yeah, I won't be drinking that anymore. And even that sales rep's reputation is damaged because they are part of the company.
Yeah.
So that gets damaged there because when he goes out there, he's representing that company. And it's funny because the last Beer Fest, one of the guys I connected with, I forgot I met with him before, but he used to be at Founders. He went to a new beer company. And I sent him an email saying it was good to catch up with him. I'm like, I'm glad you left Founders too with all the shit they're doing there. So it says so finding a new job might not be as helpful as you think because there might be damage already. It might be stuck there for a bit. Anytime I saw the ownership of Founders, I didn't really get the most professional vibe compared to the others. They almost seemed like it wasn't about the beer, just the money. I'm good at telling when a brewery loves their beer, and I never have gotten that feeling from them. Which is probably why, they sold out and got that big check from the Spanish company. I think this is going to get bigger. I think the fallout is either they completely redo management and go away for a few years, or they go out of business. Yeah,
Go out of business.
I think it's only two options.
I don't think redoing the management's going to be enough.
They need a job.
If you lose your job or lots of jobs in the area, then nobody can leave your phone for close or auto repos. Yeah, so some people may be stuck into that where they have to hold that job.
That's the thing. It's like until you walk a mile in their shoes, you don't know.
And I get that. I feel strongly about very few things, and that's one thing I feel very strongly about.
I know that, but it's also at the same time they gotta do.
If you came home and said my company is a racist bag of shit, I'd be like, fucking sell the house. We're moving to an apartment.
Maybe not everybody can do that though. Maybe they're not. They're in an apartment already. Where are they going to
shut up? I'm trying to make a point.
Well, I understand what you're saying, but I'm just trying to say not everybody just because they work for me.
Todd, don't get punched.
Yeah, I don't want to see.
I don't argue much. I'm just arguing. Yeah. Just let me be right once.
Cheers, Billy said late night. He needs to hit the hay, but cheers, brother. You hung in there. You didn't even walk the dogs tonight, so we appreciate the input, Billy. Thanks, man.
Yeah, he
usually has to walk the dogs. Usually,
love the dogs.
Grand Rapids is loaded with breweries. Basically, the whole state is.
Yeah, they are.
Work for the CIA, NSA. What is your ethics on killing?
Fucking kill them.
Apparently,
kill
Shannon
them.
Be right on board.
Shannon, settle down, Shannon. Settle down.
Kill them.
The problem is having much of a black mark will put some of the employees, should they leave, to go to the brew market. I would bet there's probably some of the
if they leave, that's a good mark.
Exactly. Lots of damaged reputations because of this. You have to have at least 6 months salary saved up for emergency situations, which is always good to have 6 months for salary. Being in the financial industry, definitely agree there. But some people don't have it. It's easier to say than do for a lot of people.
It really is. It is, yeah.
They were pulling a survey, and right now the report just came out. Like 50% of the people in America are at or near the poverty level.
Wow.
So there's more people living check to check than people realize. And actually,
that makes me sad.
San Francisco was higher.
In San Francisco right now, 125,000 is considered poor or low income. 125,000.
That's because it's $3,000 to have a 1-bedroom apartment.
It's gotten too crazy out there for some of the pricing.
It wouldn't be hard to be poor in San Francisco.
Shannon.
Yes, my dear.
Fuck California.
Fuck California. Kill them all.
I'm not saying kill them all. I'm just saying fuck.
Oh yeah. By the way, I'd actually talked to Joe, and Earth is doing okay. He's just been caught up, I think, with work and stuff. So I talked to Joe Saturday.
Good.
Alan said, "Look at where the country actually is, not where the news says we are." Right. So,
True.
whether they are innocent people or not, both are going to have damaged reputations. I'm surprised that this doesn't put them out of business unless they change management and ownership changes hands some way by Anheuser from the Spain-based company. That bought their ownership stake. Well, I mean, San Miguel could come in and do a restructuring. I mean, they have 90% of the company. They could just do a release of the management there
and change their
install
name.
new people and
that's
rebuild
what they probably
it or
should do. They probably need to kind of flex their muscles and be like, "Look, you guys are out. You're done."
And our name is no longer Founders.
Regardless of what happens.
Well, Alan said Founders has a type of distribution that's hard to call craft. Well, technically, Founders is not really craft beer anymore because once they took the money from Mount San Miguel earlier on at 30%, Brewers Association stopped recognizing them as craft because that goes against the rules to be a craft brewery. I agree, Rod. Breweries are different than restaurants. Yeah. I think the name recognition is what will kill them unless they go small and then rebuild. As far as the population that you're serving now, keep in mind they have like if it's as bad as what like the comment was up there, and Eric, you said there is some racist areas up there and everything.
Everywhere over here.
Even if they went down to like a smaller type brewery, they'll probably still be okay around that area, most likely, depending. So, in the internet age, you tarnish your reputation, you're screwed. Major uphill battle to try to rebuild. I agree. Yeah, they're going to have to do some stuff there. And then Alan agreed there. And it's actually pretty simple. Don't be a piece of shit. Be a decent human being.
Amen.
Expect and demand that from the entire organization. For better or for worse, that's the way it is. I agree. That's how it should be. You would think people would know that by now.
Yeah, don't be a piece of shit. Yeah. Wow, that's genius.
Alan's going to say, I'm going to say 20 to 25 years ago, living most of the time in Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, the way people treat each other and the language used is 180 different in a good way. So, yeah. So things are definitely better from what Alan has saw there as well. There's a lot better relations with folks, at least here in the South, than what it used to be. You know, it's kind of funny because people always think like the South with the whole racist thing. And I grew up in the North, grew up in New Jersey and stuff. And it's kind of like the North, it wasn't like there wasn't racist areas in there. I never really had to run into it as much, but I knew areas where it kind of was up there. The North, it was just hidden on the racism. In the South, the one thing was if it was racist in the South, you knew who it was, right? So if Jim Bob was the racist in the town, you knew it was Jim Bob. That's almost better than when you're in the North.
Yeah, because he let you know who he was.
Right. You didn't know what it was. So in a way, the South was actually more upfront and almost a better communication level. Even if they didn't like you, you at least knew they didn't like you or they didn't like you versus how they hide it in the North. So
I get it.
But that's the whole thing. Like people always talk about the South and all this stuff. And I tell people it's not just the South. Like for instance, Eric's in Michigan. There's been like a lot of Confederate flags up in Michigan. They were a northern state. But there's a lot of people that fly the Confederate flags up there. There's different things that people have in other areas. You see stuff out in Oregon happening. You know, it's kind of like, and that's supposed to be a progressive state. So people have to realize it's not just by your regions, by the people in your community and stuff. So,
I mean, stupid people live everywhere.
Yeah. And Cody said, and that's where it went wrong. It went too, and that's where we went way too PC is making things worse because maybe people can't feel like they can say some stuff, I guess, but. Or there's, I don't know, maybe they feel like they were doing non-PC stuff at Founders, but yeah.
I don't know what my heart rate is. It's not even, my heart rate's usually way low.
You just fired up. Gilbert says.
That's good, Gilbert, that's good.
It's going to come down to what San Miguel does with Founders Management. It can be fixed over time unless Ice Cube writes a lyric like Denny's, right? Yeah, if Ice Cube does a diss track, forget about it, Founders.
Ice Cube for president.
This is a Greek Cody. There are shows of movies that were made pointing out the idiocy of viewpoints that would have people having meltdowns and giving them PTSD because it offends them. And that's the funny thing. Like we talked about All in the Family earlier. They said you couldn't really do All in the Family, which they just did that thing on the play or whatever that seemed to go well. But the whole thing with it, you were able to do that back in the 70s and the 80s. And people were accepting it, but you were able to do that. And a lot of that stuff you put on now, like people might get offended by it. So
yeah, I was wondering when they did
those people.
When they did that
everybody's so little pussies. They get offended by everything.
When they did an hour episode of Jamie Foxx and him, I was wondering if they were going to cut any of that out, but no, that was word for word the way it was. It was great. I mean, I thought it was great. It was like as long, 30 years ago, and it still held true today. And it wasn't that far different from then as is now, really. We've come a little ways, but it's nowhere near where it should be.
Gilbert said 2 a.m. bootlegs and the B-sides. Yeah. So he's talking about the Ice Cube track there. But Alan's got a good thing here. So Alan says, I've got a niece that is mixed. I've had the family members that haven't changed viewpoints asked about what I would say if my daughter brought home someone of a daughter.
Oh my God!
Shannon, let me finish going through, please.
Agreeing with what you're
someone of a daughter. Someone of a different color home. I told them as long as they treat it right, I don't care. What would it say of me to say you're cousin, but you can't bring home a black boy? You can't be ignorant in this day and age. We all bleed red. Very well put. Yeah.
Oh, that's what you were gonna say.
I know.
Why are you getting so mad? Then?
Because somebody's so stupid to ask that question.
He's not asking a question.
I know he's not, but somebody else asked him that question.
It's the idiocy of Americans.
He said,
human race in general.
My parents ignored the talk, and I ended up a dad at about 17. Kids may figure things out on their own, but not in the right way, if that makes sense. Disclaimer, I'm thankful for the outcome. But life, I could have been provided better from the start had I been educated by my parents. Could have been easier as a parent if I had been more educated. So that's what I said. You have to be involved with the kids, and thanks for sharing that there too, Cody. I mean, not doing that. It's kind of like the whole sex thing. So, I mean, like when I was younger, I went to Catholic school and we learned about sex like, I don't know, 3rd, 4th grade or whatever. Because in the Catholic school you had, which is kind of weird that we had that done in the Catholic school.
Because they're like, you're fucking going to hell.
We were up in New Jersey. No. It was like you had like sex ed. So you knew about like condoms and stuff like that for when you were later on. But some people just like this whole thing when people say, well, abstinence and some of these other Catholics. Again, it was New Jersey, so maybe it was a different part of the Catholic Church as being maybe more progressive because the East Coast are usually more progressive in that way. But people say like abstinence. And it's funny, like I see like Sarah Palin used to say abstinence about kind of stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, that really worked out well for Bristol.
Right? Yeah. Right? Yeah.
So it's kind of like you got to face facts and reality on things. You can say I prefer you not do it. But if it does happen, here's your options, type situation.
I think you should be free. Like my daughter, I want her to be free. She needs to be safe and smart, but she should listen to her mind and her spirit and be free. Just be smart. Be smart, but be free.
And then Alan says, the biggest thing is there's more pigmentation of skin. There's a difference in culture, but that's the result of institutionalism, racism, and forced poverty a lot. True. And actually, there was a thing that I read, because I do like some history reading when I can. Like back when slaves were first brought over here, there was actually an effort. There's like letters where they would try to keep the slaves away from the Native Americans and what they would consider the poor white people, because they would feel there was too many commonalities between them. If they ever got together, they realized they'd have more power between them together to stand up against what they were trying to do. And it's just like this whole construction, the way things were constructed.
People want power. People want power.
Yeah. And then Alan said, we all live in the same borders. We all struggle. We all are humans, which is more important than skin color. Skin color isn't a qualifier. Disqualifier of anyone's character is. Alan's laying it down.
Yeah. True.
I mean, and the whole thing with the whole race type thing is, and many people have said it, many science have said it, it's more of a social construct anyway. It's made up by man to try to separate stuff. Because if you go back to the scientific fact and everything from the oldest bones and history and all that kind of stuff coming out of Africa, that's where they think life had created, the cradle of life and all that stuff. And then as people progress to different areas, is that less pigmentation is why the skins were lighter. Like everything else is basically the same.
It's because y'all are closer to the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You were closer to the equator and your skin got darker. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the only thing. You were closer to the sun. Your skin got darker to adapt.
Yeah, and we don't peel as much. So you got the summertime. We're okay for the most part.
Yeah, we're gonna get we're all getting melanoma, and all we do is try to be tan.
Yeah,
we all try to be tan.
Which is the funny thing when you see some people that have these kind of racist attitudes. They're at the beach trying to get tan. Why are you trying to tan up? You would think you'd be in a cave trying to get more pale. But you're out here.
Well, I don't want to be black.
Trying to be an albino.
Yeah.
Trying to be an albino.
This world is so fucked up. So
Cody says, I hate when I can't say what I want to say the way I want to. No, Cody, you were fine. Everything was fine. You're good to go. Alan says, if you view others as human, you feel for other humans unless you're taught otherwise. Yeah, that's why kids, they play with all the kids. They don't see anything there until a parent gets something in their head.
They are taught otherwise.
Or they see something from someone else, maybe not a parent, but something that got in their head. Simple. Simple way to see the proof is to watch the little kids interact. Same thing. All they see is a person for who they are. They don't see social economic status or color. Don't judge a book by its cover. Which there was a Facebook video that was going around recently. It was the little black Tyler running down the street, and he saw his white Tyler friend there, and he's running down there, and they come up and hug, and he starts running again. The other one starts to run after him and stuff. So yeah.
Well, and then there was another one too where I can't remember what the scenario was, but I think the white kid, like a little kid, shaved his head because to make himself look like the little black kid who had a bald head. Yeah. And the story was so the teacher couldn't tell them apart.
Yeah, he wouldn't have it.
Oh my God!
He said he went
because he's like, yeah, exactly. He's like, if we look alike, then they can't tell us apart because he's like, I don't, there's no difference, And it's and it's very true because at some point you learn, kids learn that along the way.
And see, that was my point. I'm like, I don't want Kylie to think there's a difference.
Right.
So I'm like, what do I do?
And Cody was saying, basically, I'm saying it's not talking about it doesn't seem like a good idea. Yeah. Yeah. Talking out. And Kraft said, all right, folks, duty calls. I've got to get postseason brackets updated and assignment posted. Glad I got to pop in tonight. Peace and love to all. Cheers. Cheers, Craft Beer Corner. Loved having you in. And make sure you guys check out Craft Beer Corner's channel as well and what he's doing over there, too. And Alan said, cheers to Kraft, and said by October 2020, they won't have the money to pay whatever they are ordered to pay.
That very well could be. Very well could be.
And he said, Tyler's right to an extent if they can find a distribution. And see, that's the other issue. The normal beer drinker won't know about things, or they'll look at it, doesn't affect them. If they do find out, those of us that pay attention, probably minority, right? So some of your people that are going to they don't know, or they say, well, it doesn't affect my life, or I like this beer. So they're going to have something.
They don't care. Yeah.
They don't care. Right.
Yeah.
They are not coming to the forefront to make things right. Instantly means they are that way, though. I think it is a bigger issue. Mm-hmm. And Cody's laughing at Eric. So I'm listening to the song Where We Get Off Here Now. Where do we get off here now?
Oh.
Where do we go now? Yeah. Alan says she's starting to sound like mid-stage Ted Bears. No, Founders is not a minnow. They're one of the biggest fish when it comes to craft beer. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. One of the things I can mention in the piece, like some craft beer drinkers have stopped drinking them anyway because they didn't see them as craft beer now because they're not like I said, by the Brew Association definition. So you have some people that were kind of pulling away, but for your average everyday drinker or your guy that walks into the Kroger aisle and he says, oh, it's 15 pack of Founders all day and it's $14, something like that and everything. Those people may not know what's going on. They're just grabbing a beer for after work or they're going to a barbecue or something like that and they don't know. So let me see here. And Eric had posted the Reddit piece about the Founders manager that claims he didn't know. Yeah, so people can check that out. And Founders is catching the same type of hate as Angry Orchard did because the Engager company was profiled by. So we talked about that one earlier. And unfortunately, it's only going to get worse. This ain't blowing over.
No.
And Blizzard is a new evil in game, and EA is old news. So to Shannon's corrupt companies, Blizzard Entertainment is now one of the evil, corrupt ones. And the American government has documents saying they're a corporation, and I say they are number one. American government has been screwing a lot of people too and stuff.
I'm just trying to start a cult, but nobody will follow.
I feel like we follow you all the time. I feel like it's Shannon and the Pips most of the nights when you're on here.
Well, then we all need.
She's like, God, that's who?
We all need to move to some land and start our cults.
Yeah.
There's no corruption in my cult.
These guys will tell you, I've been pitching a Beer Island idea for like the last 2 years to get away from people.
Yes.
and I've had people that I want to go to the Beer Island.
I'm an open leader. We can all have our own states.
As long as there's Miller Lite, Ron. As long as there's Miller Lite.
You can have whatever you want.
He said beer.
Yeah, beer.
He did say beer. He did say
Hey, my only rule
I'm
for
just
my
kidding, I drink
cult
that too,
is
so don't
no
worry.
anger
I had a couple
and
people
no
ask me,
meanness.
I had a couple people ask about bringing wine. I'm like, well, I guess if you bring wine, we can let
Yes,
you.
they can have their wine state. You can have your beer state.
Roger, a top 30 wine tuber, so you have to let them bring their
I
What
wine.
guess
happens if the
so,
wine?
yeah.
What happens if the wine state and the beer state start collaborating?
Yes.
Alan said Angry Orchard only skated because more people aren't on Twitter. Well, I think they look. I mean, again, I think with that one, it might have been also because it was kind of a more of an employee being a dick type issue, but I don't know. Anyway, people haven't looked into him as much as this other thing. But you know what? This founders may lead to Angry Orchard getting brought back up again as well. That people may start noticing that too. It says, don't sleep on the couch, homie. I think that's when Ty was going to get in trouble earlier. He's on the channel. He's going to get riled
Hey,
up.
nobody sleeps on the couch unless somebody's snoring or their legs are sore. My legs are, I got restless leg syndrome and I start running in my
Yeah.
sleep.
And then Alan said they've got 200,000 homeless in San Fran, so they got more homeless than in poverty. Yeah. And you know what? It's like Salt Lake City came up with this model a couple years ago, and it's worked for them to help get rid of or slow down to almost stop the homeless problem. They started making these little houses that the homeless people can live in. So they have like these small houses, like, I don't know, 900 square foot or whatever. It's got like a bathroom, a bed, and stove or whatever. Gave them somewhere to go, and then they start to get back and stuff where they can now start to get back into the community. They have a place where they can stay at, and it was cheaper for them to build these homes than to deal with paying for everything else they were dealing with it.
Yeah,
And I don't know why more companies don't pick
yeah.
up that model. I don't know why more cities don't look at that model, and it's better to go ahead and reinvest back into your people than sit here and keep throwing money out the window each
I'm
year.
not even plugged up anymore.
But
You know, it seems like the cities would also step in and kind of help those people get jobs too. You know,
Gilbert dropping out the old words like crashing hard off the bed. Good night, sucker. And then that was a cheers to him, and then say go Lions to Gilbert. There are more racist organizations in the Midwest and the West Coast, and then in the South and East Coast.
I would agree with that, Alan.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Racism is just stupid anyway, though.
mm-hmm.
But see, I was going to talk
Especially in
about
this day and age.
I was going to talk about that earlier. Like Blazing Saddles could be made today, and it was a full parody of showing the idiocy of racism and racist. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that earlier. That's what Blazing Saddles was kind of done, and something a lot of people say they thought it couldn't be done today because people would be offended by it or whatever. There was a thing that happened this week, and I didn't get to ask you, Todd and Eric, this because I know you guys are the sports fans, and I posted something on something. I can't remember what it was, but the Rockets GM. No, not the Rockets. The Astros. The Astros assistant GM.
Yeah, I seen that piece.
Was happy because they signed some player, and the player had helped them get to the next level. Maybe it was the Nats. So maybe was it either Nats or the Astros? I can't remember which one it was.
It was the Astros.
It was the Astros. And so he said, yeah. He was like, I don't know if he said fucking great or whatever. We signed blah blah blah. I forgot the guy's name is or whatever, but he said it in front of, like, I guess some of the women reporters. And somehow it turned into this whole story about him, like, attacking the women reporter because he said that. Apparently the guy they signed had, like, a thing where he had been arrested for, like, domestic violence or something along those lines. And I guess he went to court for that, but, like, another team released him, but they picked him up from it. And I don't know how it went from him being happy about the aside. Yeah, you can say they brought a guy to the team. Maybe they shouldn't have brought a guy to the team. But they did it anyway. But for him saying we're glad we signed him, to all of a sudden it became he was attacking these women. He had to go out and release like a statement or something. And then I see on the news one day, like the female sports reporter talking about how bad it was. I'm like, I don't see where he did anything. Did I miss something here? He didn't attack the women. He was like, all he said was like, I'm so glad we fucking signed, and said the name of the guy. And it's like, that's kind of a weird world we're in. Like, you could just bump into like being politically incorrect.
Maybe
nowadays.
It's because they didn't know the history of the guy, I guess, or
Yeah.
And that's where it all stems from. I'm just speculating. I don't know.
Yeah. But and then Alan said, Shannon, when you grow up in an area where 90% of the mindset has changed, but some of the older people have been slow to come around, you don't get offended. You can handle with grace and patience. I guess you wait for him to die.
Well, and he's right to a sense, because you got some of that generation that's still from those times that are still maybe not racist to the core, but still have some racist part into them until that generally, really goes away and dies. It's
Right.
still gonna, still gonna exist because they're still gonna pass some of those beliefs on,
And then like Big Daddy Mojo says he loves Founders. Mosaic Promise, badass. Alan says Founders is racist until they show otherwise. Don't need to support them. There are a ton of companies that make beer that's just as good. Lots of local craft beer companies do better, which they're finding out. And then Big Daddy says he won't stop buying over a single disgruntled employee. We don't know the whole story here. Say isn't worth the boycott. Well, actually, for me, I actually know the person involved in the story, and it's a lot more than being disgruntled. There's a lot of actions that they've actually done. So you can actually check any of the pieces from NBC News or Chicago Tribune
come on, man.
or Washington Post or
just type
there's a
in
lot being
Founders,
written about
man.
it.
Just type in Founders.
So
don't be ignorant. Don't be ignorant, man. We just talked about this probably half hour, 45 minutes ago. Don't be ignorant, man.
And just this whole deposition of it all. I mean, so. But people are going to have their opinion there, and like I said, I would just definitely say do more research on it. And
I'm saying don't be ignorant.
Okay, so I just had a deep thought.
Oh God,
Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy.
Yes.
No, but I'm like disturbed in my soul. Like I'm like down. I'm like, okay, so I'm judging people for hating, but I'm hating the people that are hating. So I'm like, I'm no better than them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, people have, people are what they are. There's no rule people have to do anything or be any type of way.
Yeah, so now I'm like, I'm no better than them because I'm hating them. So, like, what do you do with that?
I mean, I don't know.
Those deep thoughts by Jack Handy.
I get deep. I do get deep sometimes.
I mean, I hate most people, so.
No, you don't.
I'm the guy.
Why is it so easy to hate?
I'm the guy for the Beer Island. Remember, I'm looking for that island.
Shannon,
he's trying to seclude himself.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Eric?
I said people are generally dicks or assholes.
But I don't want to be a dick or an asshole.
But people generally are. Generally, I'm not saying all people are. I'm just people.
But am I any better? But I'm no better than anybody else if I'm hating them for them hating me. I'm no better than them.
No.
Well, who are you hating? Are you hating the people or are you hating their actions?
Well, I am, but
you don't know the people, so you really can't hate. Like I can't sit here and say I hate.
I know, but I should not have any hate in my heart. I should try to be understanding.
Well, hate's an emotion.
I know, but I just I hate that I hate. It makes me upset and sad, and I'm gonna be in a deep dark depression for the next 3 days, wondering why I'm a horrible person.
You're not a horrible person because you hate something. I don't think you hate the people. I think you hate the actions of the people. It's a total
that's more or less
thing.
what it is. You hate the actions of the people. That's what.
But don't you I'm better than they are because they're horrible and they're doing these awful things. But
you're not saying you're better.
I don't say I'm better than anybody. I just say I'm me. I am who I am.
Well, I'm not saying that's how you all feel, but I'm thinking that I'm being the bigger person by I would never do that. And I hate what they're doing, but they're hating what I'm doing. And we're having the same feelings. So why am I'm not being any better than they are,
My general rule of thumb is people are fucking stupid.
Well, I must be fucking stupid too because I'm doing the same thing they are.
It's their actions that are fucking stupid, not for the people themselves.
People do stupid things. That should be
people do really stupid things. I'm just like, what are you doing?
A lot of lack of common sense.
Yes, that's what it is. A lack of common sense is exactly what it is.
I know what you're all saying. I mean, they're doing dumb. They're not. But
they don't think things through when they act on them. They just do it out of an emotion or an impulse.
But I shouldn't let them make me angry. I shouldn't let their actions influence me because they're being stupid.
I don't ever let people get me angry. So my doctor's always like, your blood pressure is always so great. I'm just like, because I don't give a fuck. I mean, I'm just to that point now. I mean, there's only so much I can only control what I can control.
I don't want to feel I want to change.
I just shake my head and be like, "You're a dummy." And I don't even say you're a dummy. I just think that I'm like, "You're a dummy."
I just kind of look at them like they know I'm thinking they're a dummy.
Yeah.
They know I'm thinking it, but I don't have to say it. Like
you don't have to say it. Your look just says it.
Like somebody asks you a dumb question, you kind of look at them like maybe you want to you give them the look like they know they want to rephrase that question again before they ask you. They say, "Oh, okay, I figured it out." Yeah, you did.
Yeah, there you go.
Dumbass.
But doesn't it make you feel like uneasy that they made you feel
Shannon,
those emotions?
I grew up in New Jersey. That's how we are. We always are. We're rough.
I just think everything. Like I think like I don't know.
Before I did, but
make
then
any
I'm like,
sense.
now I have a little bit of.
You're just a feeling person. You're a feeling person.
Now I have life experience under my belt. I'm just like, what?
I'm not really a feeling person. I'm a thinker. Like I think, like I do. I feel like for injustice, but I'm like, it's just hard to explain. I'm not gonna get real deep, but I'm a deep person. Don't you think I'm a deep person? Like I get down in there and I'm
Is
like,
Shannon talking or is the wine talking?
No, this is me. This is me.
A little both.
Yeah, because like we'll be in the car. No, we'll be in the car. We'll be in the car.
You can be.
And music comes on. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, don't you just love the feelings that music gives you? I'm just like, it just makes me feel. And he's like, yeah, you know, I'm sorry. Carry on. I'm like, you know.
Oh, let me see.
This has been a deep episode. This has really been deep for me.
Eric had asked, Cody had asked Eric if you've been to any of the casinos or hotels in Michigan. I think you said you've been to Battle Creek as well.
Yeah, Battle Creek. It's Cereal City, USA.
And then Alan said it's about the attitude of upper management. It's not a single employee. The deposition given by GM shows enough willful. Yeah, it does. So, I mean, so when people, kind of say, well, it's hearsay, it's like, actually, it's not. There's a lot of research out there if you pull the pieces and see the details being given, and depositions of public records. So you can see all of that. And even away from that, just the stuff they had set up in the structure, like we talked again about the printers and all that stuff earlier. So he asked, was Firekeepers nice? Were you thinking about Soaring Eagle? I'm looking at the options.
I've never been to the hotels, Cody.
Creek Tone as well. Oh, okay. So you said you haven't been to any of them.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've been to the casino part.
And Alan says to Shannon, you compartmentalize.
I'm very good at that. I am very, very good at that.
He said, that's not hate. That's righteous indignation, which is different.
The cow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. I don't know, but
I got to say, before we take off, Rod, this beer, there we go. This beer was fucking awesome.
Yeah. See,
but
for
it
me,
doesn't taste like Chinese food.
For me, I gave
Chinese food.
For me, I gave it a 4 out of 5 on Untapped. What are you giving it?
I give it about a 93.
4 out of 5, 493. Whatever.
Are you?
I think that is a better scale than the 4 out of 5. I think that's a better scale.
425. Untapped.
Oh, Untapped 425. I was saying, are you still doing Untapped? I don't remember if you were or not before.
Yeah, I did
I think you did it for a while, but I thought you stopped or something.
I started back up. I'm doing the last one I did was the Guns and Rose.
Yeah.
Oscar Blues.
Well, Eric, if you see one of those, pick one up for me. And next time we do beer,
there's a bunch of them here.
You don't get them down there, the Guns N' Roses?
I have to look. I've never seen it.
Oh, the Guns N' Roses. I'll have to look, Todd. I mean, I got maybe.
Oh no, I meant the Kung Pao you was drinking.
This one? Oh yeah, this is all over. It's all over here.
I don't know if we got it here or not. I've not seen it. Might have to go to Louisville to pick it up.
Well, that was
Louisville.
Well, we got through all of that stuff. I got like one story that was marked off my list, which was it was a big story. So
yeah, that was the big one.
Just like the week, founders dominated the show for the most part, talking about that stuff. But good conversation. It was deep at points. So, and all the great feedback that everybody added to was awesome. So appreciate all of that there. But it's actually 12:08 and.
Yeah,
I should wrap it down. So last week we were trying to keep them shorter. Here we go. We go over the longer one again.
Yeah, we did good job last week.
Yeah.
Going into midnight.
But it was a lot of stuff that needed to be said and stuff too. And like I said, so Shannon's gonna be all charged up now. Like
no, I'm mellow. I'm sad now. I'm just really sad. I am.
This is the world. This is the world we live in now. So.
Shannon, don't worry.
I know.
Hey, Shannon.
Yeah. They're beautiful. They're still beautiful. Even when I'm sad, I can appreciate beautiful blue eyes.
I was like, come on, man.
Those should at least get you laid on at least one of these dates.
I got to get my weight down first.
But you do not. A woman likes a man with some meat on his bones.
I got a lot of meat on my bones.
You gotta own it. You gotta own it.
God's like, I got a lot.
You can't be Big Papa without being big.
If you came down here, Eric, if you came down here, I guarantee if we went out, I could get you laid.
Hey, Shannon, I got a coffee cup that says Big Daddy.
A woman loves a big daddy. We love our big daddies.
I thought you said you wouldn't call a guy daddy.
I wouldn't call him that. You might be, but I wouldn't call him that. Yes, daddy. Please, daddy. What? I mean, like, if somebody called me mama while I'm trying to screw him, I'd be like, get out.
Oh, no.
You're demented.
I'll call the cab to get you.
You're disgusting.
I call you an Uber. Come on.
I'll be like, shut the fuck up. It's disgusting.
What's that show when the girl calls her boyfriend daddy all the time with Vince Vaughn?
Oh, Couples Retreat.
Yeah.
Couples
Hey,
Retreat.
daddy. Hey, daddy.
That one's funny. Yeah. I never got that. I mean, I had daddy issues, believe me, but I would never.
She was like 20 years younger
Yeah,
than he was, and
no.
she kept calling him
Fuck
daddy.
to the no.
Shannon, you need a channel, my friend. You and Todd get a
I
channel
know.
together.
No.
Yeah. Dude,
No,
I'll be a guest on your show.
No, because as soon I can't do it. If it did, then I couldn't do my job because I got a reputation to uphold on my job. You know, I can't be like, fuck this, fuck that, and then go take care of the old people.
Why not?
Yeah,
Why
you
can't you
can.
drop F-bombs?
You probably do. They just don't remember.
No,
Yeah.
well, my families. No, it's the families. The families really think a lot of me, and
They think you're an
because I
angel.
do, I love them. I love my patients.
Oh, your family can think a lot of you while you're dropping F-bombs.
Yeah, they could, but you know,
Hey, there's been reports that say people that curse are more intelligent. So
That's what I was just going to say.
I'm fucking intelligent. Then I'll tell you that.
She's like genius off the charts then. You'd be like 1800 SAT. She's like 2600.
Yeah, I'm like when we're at home, when I'm sober, I'm like F this, F that. You know, like I
So
don't
you
care.
could you grew up in New Jersey too.
I could grow up anywhere. I'm telling you, I'm very adaptable.
Fuck you, I'm from Boston.
I could be poor, I could be rich, I could be anything. I'd be fine.
Get in a car.
Get in the car.
Yeah.
Get in the car.
All right.
She
well,
used to work real quick story on that. She used to work for one of the local restaurants when she was in high school, and is she from Jersey or Boston?
Boston.
And
Boston.
every time we go in to eat with her dad, she might be there from time to time, and she'll come in and
The owner.
and she's the owner's wife, and she'll come in and wait on us, and her dad will say every time, he's like, "Are you from Jersey?"
Yeah.
And she gets pissed because he's like, he can't ever remember because of the accent. You know, she's got a thick like Boston accent.
Yeah.
And she's
After,
been here
even from when I was in high school.
yeah, she's been here for like 40 years or whatever
Yeah.
she's been, and she still has that accent. And he always says Jersey, and she gets like, you see like the blood.
Like, I'm from Boston.
And she's like, I'm from Boston. Fucking
Yeah.
I'm from New Jersey or whatever. You know, it's like
I don't
New
pick up,
York or whatever.
I don't pick up the accent from Todd, but Shannon, I pick up the accent from you, and I'm sure you pick up the Uper accent from me.
Yeah. That's crazy to me though. Like so crazy. Because we literally grew up
Rob
like
Rob probably picks up the Uper accent a little bit.
a little bit.
yeah. It's crazy to me though,
Well,
because
she sounds more southern.
yeah.
Okay.
I think she does.
Yeah, 'cause we literally grew up like 20 what,
No, not even that. Like,
5 miles apart from each other
Yeah.
probably is our whole life.
yeah. And we didn't meet until like he grew up his whole life 5 miles. We grew up 5 miles from each other basically. And
Yeah.
he went to one school. We didn't
Right.
meet until we were, you know, how old were you? I was 19. You were,
21.
yeah. And I stalked him and made him marry me. No, I didn't make him marry me because marriage is stupid. I made him love me.
I ain't never fucking get married, Shannon.
I don't even wear my wedding ring a lot of times.
Hmm.
But if he didn't wear his, I'd be like, you motherfucker, you better be wearing your wedding ring.
Yeah, I'll let you know sometimes.
All right, I'll shut up. I'll shut up.
Yeah, don't get married, Eric. It's what society's telling us to do. Don't be a bitch to society.
Don't be a bitch
See
to
a
society.
wedding ring here?
That needs to be on a T-shirt. Don't be a bitch to society. It needs to be like a beer koozie or something.
Yeah.
We did it for the government, which is a dumb reason. I was like, mortgage, child, we should probably get married.
Well, to protect your assets, so you have them.
Yeah, but now you
Illegal.
don't even have to do that. You can be like, he's my domestic partner.
Yeah, but I guess if it works for Indiana, but if you move to another state, it might be an issue.
But if you put it in your will, then that's the same thing, right?
Oh, we'll go to probate and all that stuff, but yeah, I mean,
Well, we don't have to worry about that because
Oh,
we
no.
are bitches to society.
Don't be a
plus
bitch
if
to
you grow old together, you gotta be married for Social Security kick in. If one of you dies, so you want the other Social Security, right? So
Right? We got married for the government, which makes me sick to my stomach because
we
I
did
hate
it for the
government.
gov. We did it for the gov. We did it for the glove. So you
We
can
did
take
it
that
for
glove
Donald
and stick
Trump.
it up.
We did it for Donald Trump.
Don't start that.
Nobody does it for
Don't
Donald
start
Trump.
that.
I'm gonna go jump off a fucking cliff.
Alan said the only one I hear any appreciable accent is her. All you fellas sound like y'all come out of a factory somewhere.
And I sound like a southern hick. I sound like a hick. My goal in life is to sound like some hillbilly hick.
You got the gold medal.
We all got goals.
That's right.
I've reached mine.
All right, Blue Eyes, let's take it home.
All right, guys. If you've had too much to drink, please get a designated driver, guys. It's stupid to drive home drunk because if you do, you're going to get pulled over by the cops. They're going to make you do the stupid ass sobriety test. Then you get a free ride to jail. Then you're going to have court fees and possible prison time. And then if you hit or kill somebody, you guys know you're going to be in the slammer for a while. And if you kill yourself, all you've done is hurt your family and friends and put yourself 6 feet under, all right? Just sleep off your buzz, get your car the next day, get an Uber, a taxi, a Lyft, have a buddy call you. Take advantage of the apps on your phone, wherever my phone's at. Get Lyft, taxi, just download those apps because in this day and age, guys, it's stupid to drive home drunk because you have thousands upon thousands of dollars in court costs. And if I find out you're driving home drunk, I'm going to take a baseball bat to your knees and take out your knees and they have to be rebuilt. And Shannon, shush.
I thought we were on mute.
She tries to hold it in as best she can.
I really did think we were on mute.
Yeah, so.
Oh, shit.
Jesus Christ.
Nice going, Shannon. Nice going.
No, really, Todd, I really did think Todd puts me on mute sometimes, believe it or not. I thought he had me on mute.
And Alan has said the domestic part sounds like one of those animals for people with PTSD.
PTSD. Yeah.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get this all wrapped up. Eric, anything you got coming up on your channel?
We got some Red Wings stuff. I don't know if anyone caught any of the Red Wings kind of post-game video that I did, but we're going to start doing some Piston stuff. I got Michigan State, Penn State pregame. I got Michigan, Notre Dame I have to do yet. And the post-game of those two games, if they end up happening, which I'll probably be at Firekeepers, Cody. I'll be a Firekeeper, so I probably won't be doing a post-game on that. But I may watch games. I don't know. We'll go ahead and wait and see. And then I got the weekend ramble coming up, which is going to be what I've done back here, which, as you can tell, I haven't really done anything. So, but those are going to be coming up here on the, what's that, Shannon?
I said I don't believe you didn't do anything. I think you did a lot.
Well, there's still a lot of work to do. But anyway, that's what's coming up here on the channel. So actually, if you go to the YouTube channel, Eric Alliance Fan, I would appreciate a subscription and click the bell notification so you guys get more videos, okay?
Yeah.
And there's my shameless plug.
Yeah. And let's see here. Tomorrow, I don't know what I'm going to do next on the channel. Actually, I have nothing set up going forward right now. So I'm actually probably going to bring some other stuff to the channel besides just the beer reviews. So you have to tune in to see. I'll get something put together, so I'll release that probably tomorrow night. I was going to do a story about the whole Miller and Bud thinking Miller stole their recipe thing, but don't know if I'll put something together on that or not, or do something different. I kind of like doing the founders thing, so I might get into more beer news stories again. I might do more of the hop stuff. Todd asked about me doing more of the things about the hops, so I might get that done. So I haven't decided what's going to be uploaded next. or I may just talk about something random while having a beer. So probably get something uploaded for that tomorrow night or this weekend. And then tomorrow, if I end up going out to pick up some wings, I might be over to Alex Beer Master's channel because they're doing like a wings video and everybody's bringing wings. I said, if I'm going to bring wings, I'll probably make some of the deep fried or bring. So don't know if I'm going to do that for sure or not. Blake TV tomorrow night may pop by his channel because he's got the Halloween Friday night bash that he's going to have over there. So make sure you check him out. And then we'll see what else happens this weekend. Next Tuesday night, as always, on Tuesdays, catch me at Allen's Beer and Gaming. We're doing the sports stuff over there. So that's at 9 o'clock Eastern. We talked about the sports stuff this past week. None of us had the upsets that happened, but that was a crazy week there. But we'll look forward to doing some stuff on that channel. And then we'll see what goes from that point. So next Thursday, we will have a show. Of course, it is Halloween, so hopefully people can join us. Depending on what time zone you're in, you might be having kids at your door or out with the kids, but we'll try to get something together. Big shout out again to Mr. who didn't make it in tonight, but he had asked me last week if I had done the vodka gummy worms yet. I had not, but I did start it yesterday. So right now in the fridge, the vodka gummy worms are being chilled. So over the next week, I'll be chilling those. By next Thursday, I'll be having
break them out. Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'll be having vodka gummy worms if I don't give one to the kids when they come by.
Do that.
Like that? Funny, where you at? What's that?
They'll be coming back 5 times.
Let's go back to his house.
Give him
I like his
adult.
candy.
Give him
His
the
candy's
adult.
good.
Here.
Yeah. But we'll go ahead and get it wrapped up. Thanks for everybody that joined. Look forward to catching up with you guys next time. Keep drinking those good craft beers. And I forgot what I was going to say there.
Get your beer
No,
on.
I didn't. I know what I was going to say, Todd. I was setting it up.
Peace out. Peace out.
No, Shannon. Don't forget, there's always time. Get your beer on. Everybody's trying to give me a different ending now. Can you believe that?
Peace out. Peace out.